Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Reels and Heels, episode 32. I had to think about that. Oh man, today family movies. Uh, Joined by Ryan Permison over there from Nerd Culture. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me. This is going to be it's going to be an interesting topic. Going to be a fun show. Lots of different kind of films to throw around. A lot of different titles from different eras and all that jazz. And dude, I gotta say that intro of yours gets me every time. It's so good. But other than that, I'm just very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you love that intro. I think Josh did a great job. Josh has been
Josh
killing
is
it.
amazing.
He's killing it, man. He's killing it.
I mean, between Josh and Terry, I don't think either of them sleep.
No, they don't. They don't know what the word sleep means.
So today, I woke up this morning and I got a phone call from my Aunt Darlene in California, letting me know that my mom had passed away.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, she's been suffering for a few years now, and she's not suffering anymore, and I'm glad for that. And I didn't want to cancel today's show. I wanted to move forward, and we're talking about family films, so I'd like to start off and. When you think of like family, what does family mean to you? I'm gonna start with you, Ryan.
Wow, you're not holding back on these questions today in the ring, ladies and gentlemen. The word in general, family or family films?
Well, just family. Like when someone says family, like what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
Man, well, one of the first things that comes to mind is this line that's featured in every single installment of this franchise. Especially, I think it was in is it the fourth or the fifth one where he says, no, it's the seventh. He says, "I don't have friends, I got family," as Dominic Toretto, played by some dude named Vin Diesel, once said. Um, when I think of family, I think of people who are willing to go to bat for you no matter what. People who are going to stick with you through thick and thin. When I think of family, I think of those who will pick you up when you're at your most, negative part of your life, and tell you that, hey, it may be dark right now, but there is a light at the end of that tunnel, and we're gonna do our best to, pick you up, you dust yourself off, and guide you towards that light, because you do have a reason for being here, and there are bigger and better things that are out there for you. You just got to keep plugging along and not let this beat you. So those are some of the things that come to my mind when I think of family. And no, I will not do my horrendous impression of Dominic Toretto anymore.
Now, what about you, Willow? I know that knowing your
family.
She has her cat family that won't stop asking to be petted.
Family to me has always been important, and because of how I grew up, family. I basically had to create my own family. I'm glad that with Joe and his family, they are very close. And I actually get a chance to see what somewhat of a normal family is like. But yeah, no, it's always been important to me, and I feel like I get a lot of the support. Oh my God, cat. Go away. But yeah, emotional support is always great. But yeah, if you don't have a family to call your own, create one. There's nothing wrong with having your friends become your family.
And that's what I like about this network that we have here with HWS. We're family, and I tell Garrett all the time that he's like a father figure to me. I mean, I've known Garrett for 5 years, and
oh wow.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and like he's the kind of person that I can go to, and just so to me that is family, and I'm glad that we're talking about family films, because family films are films that the whole family, I'm sure a lot of these films we talk about are films that we've watched with our moms and dads and our brothers and sisters, either at a movie theater or after dinner. I remember what is it? The Wonderful World of Disney. Had a lot of great films. What was it? Sunday nights, right? Is that when that came out? I'm trying to remember. Sunday, was it Friday night, Sunday night, something like that?
Some day of the weekend that we can't remember. If anyone does, put it in the chat. Was it on Fridays when we came home from school? Was it Saturdays when we didn't want to do the homework? Or was it Sundays when we actually had to do the homework at the last minute?
I remember Sundays being more so family oriented with the Wonderful World of Disney movies popping on the screen, and also the raccoons. Whereas Canadians, the raccoons were a huge thing, and we had to. It was a family thing for me. We'd watch that cartoon, and as soon as that was over, it was getting ready for bed.
So we'll start off here with since there's a lot in this category. We'll talk about these sport family films because there's a couple that Ryan really like. The first one that comes to my mind, Mighty Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I was there, man. I was there. Yeah.
What is
each and every one of them when they came out on VHS? I was there.
A very young, what was it, Joshua Jackson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had a young, what was it? Young Keenan Thompson was thrown in there.
Yeah, he was in there, and Emilio Estevez was the coach.
Bombay, yeah.
That franchise, I would love to see come back, and I'm glad that it's on Disney Plus for people to check out that haven't seen it.
It would be great to see like a next generation movie and see maybe one of them come back as the new coach.
That would actually be cool. I know there's been talks about redoing the franchise and not like a reboot, but like a continuation. I kind of I guess like what they did with Jumanji, where it was like a remake reboot, but it was a continuation all rolled into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, a number of months ago, there were pictures released from Disney Plus showing Emilio on the ice and teaching the kids how to be ducks. So I think, if memory serves, before or during the case of COVID-19, they've been trying to reboot this thing as a series on Disney Plus. So if that's the case, just bring back the original ducks, have them pass the torch onto their little kitties, or have them become mentors for the new generation of ducks and see where it goes, because that's how the story should go. But then again, I'm not sitting in the creative or executive offices at Disney. So Disney, if you need help, if you need assistance, give me a call.
I mean, as far as I know, Joshua Jackson isn't doing much these days. It would be nice to see him come back as a coach.
Well, I mean, Joshua Jackson, he can just sit home and he's still getting those residuals from Dawson's Creek. So,
Dawson's Creek, yeah. There's a TV series I missed out on during the day.
Yeah. And,
he was good in Fringe, though. That show was great.
Yeah, Fringe was so good. It kind of lost me towards the end, but those first few seasons were really good. I know that since you're Canadian, when we talk about Mighty Ducks, it was funny because it was kind of like it opened the door for that NHL expansion team, because Disney actually owned the Mighty Ducks at first. And they played at Anaheim, which is
here's the thing about me. I'm a huge Mighty Ducks fan. I was a huge Mighty Ducks fan from the movies, the team itself.
What about the cartoon?
Do you remember the cartoon series?
Them.
Cartoon series had a cool theme song, Brian.
Oh,
yes. And
they had cool outfits. They were hockey players, but then they were also superheroes.
They're superheroes. And by the way, those action figures are being sold on a number of Facebook group pages I'm a part of. It's pretty cool to see those figures again. It's after all these years.
I'm just curious, how much are those figures going for?
They range in price, man. So you got to talk to the individual sellers, but I've seen them go for like $5, $15, $20 a figure at times, depending on how rare they are.
And let's just say Ian Zerling as Wild Wing, just I love his voice. Anything he does, pretty much. Well, okay, minus the the horrific Sharknado.
Well, the thing with the Sharknado and Asylum is kind of like Blumhouse. It's like they don't spend a lot of money, but like it seems like they get their money back and then some. I mean, those
Yeah.
Sharknado movies, like if you think about it, they actually did make money, which is so weird. But that's for another episode. So while we're talking about family films and sports, let's talk about another Disney one, Angels in the Outfield. What was that?
So good.
Christopher Lloyd, right?
Mm-hmm. Christopher Lloyd, Tony Danza, Danny Glover. I'm too old for this blank. As the coach, yeah, no, that's an uplifting film because, and it's also a really good discussion about what family is, how do you define your family, what makes you a family, all that kind of stuff is thrown into the movie for good measure. It works, man. It really does, and the cast sells it so well. And Christopher, I mean, the cast alone, the triple threat of Tony Danza, who I haven't seen some of his other works yet, but him as the down and out pitcher. You got Danny Glover as the the grungy manager who doesn't want to do it anymore. He's sick and tired of it. I can't win with these guys. I mean, nobody can. There's a thing called talent. They don't have it. You have him as George Knox. You got freaking a barely recognizable Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
As the child lead in this movie. I'm like, dang, son, your aging ways are just interesting to me, JGL. I'm just saying, brother. But
well,
yeah, Christopher Lloyd, just call me Al. No one can see or hear me but you. I mean, come on.
And it's funny
stuff.
that you brought that up
film.
because both this film and the Mighty Ducks really have that family dynamic where, I mean, Coach Bombay, Mighty Ducks, like was like that father figure to a lot of those players, and Al was like that for Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah,
good speeches too in those movies, whether it's Angels in the Outfield, especially Mighty Ducks, when Bombay is telling what's his face, Mr. Ducksworth, like what a team is, and all that stuff. Like, you may have this jersey, sir, but you didn't earn it. That whole spiel. Like, it's really good stuff, man. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually a great line. And when I was looking up like Disney quotes and stuff, and that's on a lot of different lists.
Mm-hmm. It's great, isn't it? Thank you, Emilio. We know you're watching. We appreciate you, man.
Terry's chiming in here.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie Conway, I like it, man. Yeah, bring it back. I'm happy to see those kids come back.
So there's going to be a theme here since we're Angels in the Outfield family. Another baseball family film was Rookie of the Year.
Oh man, yeah, Garden Hoser. Yeah. Yes, Rosenberger. Yes,
Pitcher's got a big butt.
I mean, mispronouncing his name at every turn, and then the way they got around the whole MPAA of not cursing in this movie, especially with the doctor when he gets his nose bashed in. I mean, it's funky butt loving. Did he say funky butt loving? Like, that is just
yes.
If you want to work your way around without cursing, that's one way, very creative way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the movie. It'll make more sense to you in the context of the scene. But with that being said, that movie's enjoyable. To me, that movie is funnier than some of the other baseball movies I've seen over the course of my time. To me, now granted, these are apples and oranges between Rookie of the Year and Little Big League. That movie about the kid who runs the Minnesota Twins. So to me, Rookie of the Year had more funny parts in it than Little Big League. Little Big League was more of a dramedy than a comedy to me, because it was a very serious film. Like, not very serious, but it was serious enough to the point where the kid's about just managing the team, having them win the pennant, having a little bit of fun along the way, but also trying to honor the memory of his grandfather, played by Jason Robards. So it's apples and oranges. But if I had to, the comedy aspect of it, Rookie of the Year has it in spades. Daniel Stern co-starring and directing the film at the same time. I mean, come on, Brick Ma. I mean, come on. It's good stuff.
Daniel Stern. I think a lot of people sit on Daniel Stern. I think he's a fantastic actor.
The guy's a creative genius. Look what he did with Rookie of the Year. Look at him being the narrator of one of the greatest TV shows of all time in The Wonder Years, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not seen The Wonder Years, I implore you, stream all 6 of those seasons. You will be bawling your eyes out after every episode because it's that darn good, in the words of Triple H, minus the curse word. But just watch the show. You won't regret it. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, and like even in City Slickers, I thought he was
Yeah.
hilarious in that film. And then, of course, we'll talk more about this film on December 5th when we talk about Christmas movies. But Home Alone 1 and 2, Daniel Stern, I mean, the whole like, Harry.
Wet bandits.
And then they became the sticky bandits.
Yeah, you did it again, didn't you? Harry, it's our calling card. All the great ones leave their mark. We're the wet bandits. You're sick. You know that? You're really sick. I mean, it's the camaraderie between those two actors, which I know we're going to be saving for another episode somewhere down the line, but that has its moments too. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the great story about how Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern wanted to do the movie together. So
nice. I'm fascinated to hear that.
So, Terry, we're going to get to this movie. Another baseball film that I think is beloved by just about everybody, not just here in America, but I think worldwide, and that's The Sandlot.
Yes.
I mean, that was a film that I think it took place in the 60s, right?
I believe it was the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah. And it showed the family life there and how like the neighborhood kids would go to the park and play baseball. And then, the new kid comes in and he's trying to fit in and he feels invisible. And then like they kind of take him under the wing and they tell him about the beast. The beast.
Yeah.
Scotty Smalls. Yeah.
Summer of 1962 is when it's
there's
the
exact date for you kids watching at home, because I know you're going to be quizzed on this later.
Yes.
When it
and
comes to the
this
Sandlot,
film, I believe is on Disney Plus.
If I'm not mistaken, I think at this point most, if not all, because Disney, you own everything, and it's a scary thought. But anyway, The Sandlot. One of my favorite things about that movie is the score. The score in the opening scene of that movie, when he's just walking towards the PA booth to get into the press box and write that score it sets a mood. It really does. It really sets a mood for you. And also one of the things I like more about The Sandlot now than I did, 100 years ago when I watched it, because we were all young at one point, ladies and gentlemen, but sometimes we tend to get old. So when I was a wee lad watching this, I didn't understand it at the time, but now, 30 plus years later, the fact that Scotty Smalls is trying to get along with his stepfather, I can relate to that more now because I've had a stepfather for over 10, 12 years. So when it first happened, we weren't really sure how this was going to work. We weren't sure how the relationship was going to get along. So we were kind of, you know what I mean? Like you're testing the waters to see what works and what doesn't. And it was rough in the beginning. I'll be honest, it was. But once we started, accepting the pieces that are going to be fitting into this puzzle as they were, it kind of just, over the course of time, we got to know each other a little bit better and understand each other better. So I can relate to Scotty Smalls' character in The Sandlot more so now than I did 30 years ago. Isn't that fascinating how some things just come full circle, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, he did have how many names did Babe Ruth have?
The Sultan of Swat, the King of Crash, the Colossus of Clout. Yeah, the King of Crash, man. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, Wendy Peppercorn. Yeah. Didn't she get married to Squints Pomodors and they ended up having 9 kids? Jeez.
Something like
that's
that
a
whole
lot of kids, man.
That whole scene at the pool where he drowns,
he fakes fake drowns. The whole thing was a scheme.
Oh yes, and then just to get a little
kiss
action, and then they're all kicked out, and like they ask, was it worth it?
Yeah.
We all remember that, forever.
Yeah, a lot of my friends nowadays are using that. It's like they must have seen it on the internet or something. But yeah, people use it when we're talking about different topics nowadays, like forever. Like, this is going to be gone forever. It's like, geez, man. You've seen too many Sandlots.
That's definitely one of, I think, the best family films. I mean, Fox was doing a lot of family films. I
Yeah,
mean,
they were killing it
I
too.
think out of all the studios that's not Disney, Fox at that time they were just pumping them out.
Hmm.
And I'm sure
Pretty much, yeah.
Willow or Ryan, you could fact check me on that, but um, I want to say that they had the most family films that, like I said, that weren't Disney.
Yeah,
I
that
know
might be
there.
true.
I know there's another baseball film, not your typical family film, but it definitely revolves around family, and I think a family could actually sit down and watch this movie and get it. And that was Field of Dreams.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I mean that's
Go ahead,
we can
Ryan.
we
Take it.
can listen. We can sit here all day, if not the rest of whatever is left of the decade known as 2020, because we all know it's been a decade, folks. We know, we feel your pain. Look, I didn't see this film until much later, and this was long after my biological father had passed away. And watching this movie, I'm telling you, it gets the ending gets me every time. If I'm not crying buckets of tears, I am getting teary-eyed and watery. What is a salty discharge? Yeah, it happens because that movie to me is very real. It's very honest. It's authentic. It's gutsy. It's beautiful. It's smart. It's intelligent. It's witty. It's all the other words I can't think of at the moment. But the score, the casting, the story, mwah, it's perfection. It's perfection. Like very few movies I would say are perfect in my eyes. But this movie, a little bit of the beginning of subplot with him and what was it, Terrence Mann, James Earl Jones's character, got off to a
Yeah.
little bit of a rocky start, but once it kicks in, it really gets going. But aside from that, this movie's perfect. This movie is so good. It is so beautifully made. It's made from the heart. It has a lot of beats to it. I mean, I
Can
could
we
go all
just
day
say
about how great.
how good Kevin
I mean,
Costner was so good in that film?
oh my God, I could
Uh,
go all day about how great he was in it, about how great Shoeless
Ray
Joe.
Liotta.
Yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackson by Ray Liotta, Amy Madigan, who played his wife, a very, very young Gabby Hoffman as the daughter. I mean, ah, like if I were gonna have a kid, like I would, if I had a daughter like Karen, who was played by Gabby Hoffman in the film, I'd be like, oh, so cute, so cute, Daddy. What's a southpaw? It's a left-handed pitcher, honey. I mean, it's just mwah, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. If you have not seen this movie, if there's any movie I'm going to recommend to anybody on 7 billion people on this planet, watch Field of Dreams. Exactly. If you build it, he will come. It's so true. It's so true. If I lived in the middle of no man's land and I lived in a state where it's nothing but farmland, I would literally I would do it. I would do it.
Yeah.
Because when you believe the impossible, Brian, the incredible comes true. And yes, it is on the poster. That is the slogan of the movie. It is so true. It is so true.
I actually want to own that movie poster. I
Oh,
think it's cool looking. I mean, there's a couple versions of the poster, but the
mm-hmm.
one with just the cornfield
Yeah.
and yeah.
I have the movie poster, Brian. I beat you to it. But yeah, it's to me that's a 5-star. If it's humanly possible to give a movie 10 stars, I give it 10 stars. It's that good. I mean, Willow,
I
you've seen
think
this movie before, right?
Absolutely, I own it.
Oh, you own this movie. Okay, so that's a good thing. All right.
and yes, I own it on 4K. But
Of course you do, because I knew the 4K came out a couple years ago at Best Buy, and I was like, And my first thought when I looked at that was,
I've
does
owned
Brian
it.
already
I've
have
owned it
this?
on VHS. I've owned it on DVD. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna eventually buy it on Blu-ray.
I do. I have the 2-disc anniversary edition on DVD, which is it's good stuff. But I do need to upgrade it eventually to Blu-ray. It's got to happen.
yeah,
A
I think
little behind,
we'll have.
behind on the Blu-ray 8-ball for me there, Brian. But I'll catch up to you.
I think it's a film we'll definitely return to when we do a sports movie episode,
Oh, sure.
Yes.
probably in January or February. But
I'll be here for that.
would you say that that's probably one of the not only best like baseball movies, but one of the best sports films ever?
Probably, yeah.
I would say yeah, but to me the movie transcends all the genres. To me, I think it's just to me anyway. I think it's in my top 10 favorite films of all time. To me, it's one of the goats. Just period, like just pure filmmaking standpoint. It is one of the greatest motion pictures that's ever been made. Period. because it's so good. It's
mean,
not
yeah,
good. Good's a horrible word, Brian. It's so good that it's great. It's great. So
See,
it's
and
a
you talk
goat.
about how it transcends. We're on an episode talking about family movies, and we're talking about it. So that says something right there.
Mhm. Yeah. So now all we gotta do is build a baseball field in our backyards respectfully, and he will come. That's all we gotta do.
Well, I'm sorry, as a Canadian, I'm going to have to say it'd be a hockey rink before it becomes a baseball
Oh,
diamond.
it's a hot. So you want the animated Mighty Ducks to skate at your ice rink before they reboot it? Okay, cool.
So I know this isn't about sports, but so you like the film Hot Shots? Or not Hot Shots. What is it?
I'm
Hot
gonna say
Shot.
that is not a family movie, man. That's a bit of a raunchy comedy to a certain degree. But what was the next film?
Hot Shot, right? Is that what it was called?
No, you mean Slapshot.
Slapshot.
Oh, that's
Sorry, I'm
that's
not a
another
hockey
that's
guy.
a hockey film, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Willow, you have all 6 of those on Blu-ray, right? Because didn't they make like 60 of those?
I'm pretty sure I own all of them.
Might want to do some digging and fact check that for me. But no, I've never seen Slapshot, so I got nothing for this.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
That's definitely a movie I think we'll talk about during sports. I just was saying, she's Canadian. So are there any other like sporty family films that you can think of that we can throw in while we're talking about family sports films?
I mean, it's more of a drama than a family film, but it is based on that true story. Did anyone ever see Miracle?
Oh.
That's the one with Kurt Russell.
I mean, this true story about how the U.S. defeated the team in 1980 Winter Olympics, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of a big deal, right? That was a big deal for history books. And also, what was his name? Herb Brooks, played by Kurt Russell, gave some really good speeches in that movie. You're going to play like champions. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? This is your time. What is it? Great moments are born from great opportunity. I mean, it's like, those are some hot words, man. Like, those will stick with you for a while. But yeah, I haven't seen Miracle in a hot minute, Willow. But yeah, I've heard that's a good movie. I'm sure that movie's streaming somewhere on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll have to add that to my watch list.
Okay, so how about some horse racing stuff? Secretariat.
That's the one with Diane Lane, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then you had the other one, which was
John Malkovich.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. And then you had the spin-off of that, which was Seabiscuit with Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And then you had the other one that was based on a true story. Speaking of Kurt Russell, Dreamer.
Oh, yeah.
Dreamer was a horse movie. That was him and what was her name? Dakota Fanning was his daughter.
Yeah.
And then Black Beauty as well.
On the horse. What was the other one?
Black Beauty.
Oh, you mean Black? Yeah, Black Beauty. Oh, what Black? Oh, does anyone remember that horse film Flicka?
Yeah.
With Tim McGraw.
With Alison Lohman, aka the girl who played the con daughter of Nick Cage in Matchstick Men. Which, by the way, Alison Lohman, where have you been, young lady? We've only seen you in like 2 or 3 films since Matchstick Men. You were in Flicka. They asked you to come back for part 2, but you denied. That's fine. You want to get your money somewhere else. That's cool. And then she starred in that Sam Raimi horror film, Drag Me to Hell, and then she just disappeared. Whatever happened to her? I'm curious. Allison, if you're watching this show, give us an email. I want to know what's been going on with you. I'm curious. Because she was a bright actress.
Maybe you need to talk. You need to email her and see about getting her on your show.
Yes, and then we can talk about
that way. You can ask her.
Talk about Matchstick Men and some other stuff that she was going to be starring in, but she denied to do, or something like that. Yeah, Allison, we'll be in touch. So yeah, what was it? Horse movies? What other horse movies are there? Those are the 3 that come to 4 if you count Flicka, and then there was Flicka 2, but nobody saw it because it was direct-to-video. And then there was Flicka 3, A Spirited Beginning. Nobody saw it because it was direct-to-video. It's another horse racing movie. Can't think of it. I'm sure there's a few others. Drop them in the comments, Terry. We know you're watching. What other movies do you want to talk about, Brian? What else is on your little itty-bitty little docket?
Well, let's hop into like the animated family films.
There's about 1 billion of those movies sitting around somewhere on a streaming service, right?
Yeah. Well, one that stands out that is like the definition of family, and that's the Land Before Time.
Oh, it's been a hot minute since I've seen those movies. Man, wasn't there like 8 of them? 8 or 9?
I think there was like 10.
Oh, there were
Yeah.
like 10?
Something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
you're right, because there was 10, and then didn't they do a spin-off of 11 and 12? I can't remember, but someone
Right.
out there knows. That's a lot of Land Before Times.
Yeah, but let's talk about the original Don Bluth, Land
Oh,
Before
yeah.
Time. I mean, Don Bluth, who was a former Disney animator who left and did his own thing. We'll talk about a couple other films that he did, but Land Before Time. It's like Bambi, you know, like there's that scene and the waterworks.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And if you've seen Land Before Time and if you've seen Bambi, you know what scene I'm talking about.
Oh, boy.
Willow, go ahead. I'll let you take it.
That movie definitely struck a chord with me as a kid, and I watched it so much. I think I'm pretty sure I wore out the copy that my foster mom had. But no, and the kid, sadly, the kid who did the voice of Ducky, yep, was tragically killed by her own father, like pretty much right after that film was released. So yeah, that's
heavy.
I think that's partly why it took them so long to actually make a sequel for that film. But it's so just knowing that trivia, just you know, at least we get to honor that voice, that little girl, for that voice forever. You know, well, anytime that we watch that movie, we're honoring her memory. So
yeah, I think my favorite character in that film is Beatree.
Oh yes.
But you know, the connection that at the beginning when the mom passes away and he is man this
I'm sorry for bringing that up.
no it's this film. I mean, I love Land Before Time, like and I don't cry at a lot of movies, but like I between this and Bambi, it does because I am an emotional person, and yeah. See, Nicole is watching as she's on her way home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
very, very true.
you know, of course, the grandparents and you know, they get separated, the kids, and they're all from different dinosaurs, but they're not supposed to get along, and they do. And that's like the definition of like family on how, and then they all come together.
Yeah. That's what I mean about creating your own family. You don't have to be blood to be part of a family.
Yeah, you know, the Triceratops, they're not supposed to hang out with long necks, you know.
Yeah.
And so we're on the Don Bluth thing here. American Tail.
Oh yes. You know, I watched Fievel Goes West, but I didn't I don't remember watching the original so much.
The original is, I mean, Fievel Goes West was, I mean, it was cute, but it didn't have the same charm as the original.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the original, I mean, had the song, you know, there are no cats in America.
See, this is the funny thing about this franchise. I've never seen the original. I've seen Fievel Goes West because I remember growing up watching that on VHS, and it was funny because of Tiger, you know, the cat doing his thing, and then he hooks up with what's his name, Wiley Burp, which is a bizarro name for a dog, folks, but it happens. But I know why they named him that, because it's based
by
on
a classic actor. You remember who voiced him?
the names aren't coming to me. I'm sorry, but I forget who it was, but anyway, Wiley Burp and Tiger teaming up and whatever it was to take down the cat, who was voiced by John Cleese. I mean, it's some weird stuff, but it's funny as all get out, especially when they team up at the end to do that standoff, and then Fievel's like, "Give him the lazy eye, do it, just do it, give him the lazy eye, he'll be defeated," and then he does, and he just wigs out, and then he starts shooting everybody in sight, and then he ties up the spider with his own spider web or whatever. It's madness, it's crazy, it's wild, and then when you think back on it, the cat who's attracted to the daughter of Fievel's little sister. Very creepy SVU sexual overtones there, but you know what? Yeah, it's very creepy, folks. A guy his age being attracted to a young woman that age, that's not cool in any way, shape, or form. But I don't think Don Bluth realized that at the time. But with the movie, it's weird, it's wacky, and then when Tiger's girl leaves him, it's like, "I'm going to the West, honey. Like I got other plans. I got to blah blah blah." Yeah. But then, well, hey, he grew a pair at the end. He saves the day, gets the girl, saves Fievel and the kids. It's like, it's funny, it's weird, twisted, but yet a little bit of charming stuff. Especially when he's teaching him how to shoot a gun properly, and then he's like, "Look behind you, kid." I mean, it's just, come on.
Well, the Tiger is voiced by the great Dom DeLuise.
Yes. Yeah. He was hilarious as Tiger. Yeah. Hilarious.
And Wiley Burp is the great Jimmy Stewart.
It is Jimmy Stewart. Okay, all right, because he starred in my favorite Hitchcock film, Rear Window. There you go, Jimmy boy. Great actors. Very classically trained actors. Yeah. And you got John Cleese as the bad guy.
Terry. Oh my God, Terry.
Oh, Terry, why are you chiming in with this, man? But yeah, Don Bluth, he I don't think this movie is it's animated, so I guess it could be considered family, but I kind of think this isn't really a family film. It's more like a watch when you're in the mood for it kind of movie. Does anyone remember Secret of Nim?
Yep.
Because the Secret of Nim is very dark, very disturbing. It's about experimentation on mutants. It's about experimentation on rats. It's very dark, very, very dark, even though it has, what's his name? Nicodemus, the wise sage, the Obi-Wan General Kenobi. That whole thing about him, use the necklace. And then what's his name? Jeremy, the crow? Hilarious. You've got a sparkly. I mean, Jeremy was my favorite character in Secret of Nim. He was the comic relief through 99.9999999% of that movie. But then Justin, the young guy coming in at the end to save the day a little bit there, he was cool. I liked it. I like Secret of Nim, but it is a very dark film, and you have to be in a certain mood to want to watch that movie.
And Will Wheaton was in it too.
Oh, you mean fetch me Will Wheaton? That Will Wheaton, who was the arch nemesis on Big Bang Theory.
Dom DeLuise was also a voice in that film.
Was he the voice of Nicodemus?
Yeah.
He was the voice of Jeremy.
Oh, he was Jeremy. Okay. Wow. See, these actors get around, man. They know their roles. They know their stuff. But yeah.
Well, when you're looking at Jeremy, when you're looking at the 70s and the 80s, I mean, a lot of the go-to actors were like Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise. I mean,
Dom DeLuise. Yeah.
And of course, Dom DeLuise had two sons that went into acting. Of course, one appeared in 21 Jump Street.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. But The Secret of Nim, I do want to say that I would consider it a family film, but it is dark.
Yeah.
It is not something I'd want to share with my kids. Disney films are
dark. Like a lot of the animation movies are dark, if you think about it.
Watership Down, yes. Oh man,
Terry, I've never heard of this. I never heard of Watership Down.
It's a very emotional story.
So I bring a giant box.
Bring lots of Kleenex.
Lots of Kleenex, Terry. I've never seen anyone comment or speculate.
I mean, Don Bluth, he did Anastasia, which is one of my favorite animated films.
Oh.
Not a Disney film, by the way.
It's not. I remember that being released by Fox, right?
Yeah.
That was a Fox
Meg
film.
Ryan did the voice.
Oh man,
Of Anastasia?
Ryan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't Don Bluth also do Thumbelina?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which,
And
by the
then
way, I
the
remember the
Swan
trailer, but I
Princess,
never
I
saw the
think.
movie.
I
Which one?
think the Swan Princess.
I think so.
That's a
I'm
good
looking at
question.
his IMDb right now, and it's giving me All Dogs Go to Heaven, Titan AE.
Oh, all
Oh
dogs
man,
go
I
to
want to
heaven.
see
Oh,
that.
man.
I want to see that. I have heard some interesting things about Titan AE over the years.
Titan AE is good. Matt
So
Damon.
good.
Wait a minute, you mean Matt Damon? He's in it.
Yeah, Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon. So he was a Martian in Titan AE before he was the Martian. Wow.
Yeah.
Matt Damon. You can't hurt the threads. They're pure energy. That's the only quote I remember because it was in the trailer. Sorry, that's what happens. I remember random stuff, people. Yeah, I need to watch Titan AE. Maybe I should add that to my Amazon wish list. I don't know. Who knows?
So since we're on the animated thing here, what about this one? I believe this is. I mean, all the Disney cartoons are family films, but
It's kind of a
there was
given.
something special about this one, Oliver and Company.
Oh man, what was it? Bette Midler and Billy Joel and man, who wasn't in this movie? They had like a venerable who's who back then. Yeah, Bette Midler sang one of the songs. Billy Joel did the song. Man, there was.
Yeah, Billy Joel was Dodger.
Put your hands on my back, woman. I'm driving. You know that guy. I mean, it's just. Yeah. Do you happen to know whose bowl you're eating? Mine. Just, you know.
Okay, so Oliver was voiced by Joey Lawrence.
Oh.
Holy crap.
I need to go back and rewatch
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, and then Tito, of course, was Cheech Marin.
Yeah. Man, that guy knew how to voice a character. He just has that voice you just can't get rid of. You just hear it everywhere. It's awesome. It's good stuff.
And then Fagin was once again another Dom DeLuise character.
Yeah.
They must have had Dom DeLuise on speed dial back in the day. Yeah, hey, we're doing an animated movie. You
He was the voice actor to go to, basically.
He was everyone's to go. He was the number one in everybody's Rolodex when they had I don't know what you kids know what a Rolodex is, but it's a giant wheel that had itty bitty little sheets of paper on it that were alphabetized and had people's first and last name and their phone number and address. So the people when someone needed to get in touch with somebody, they can just access it right there. That's what we did in the 1930s.
The baby of the group is telling us this.
I know. I just feel like, hey.
I'm looking at the credits. Did you know Jonathan Brandis he did additional voices, but he wasn't really credited because this was before people really knew who he was.
That's a shame because he had a bright future.
How old was he when he did this?
He had a bright future ahead.
This film came out in 1988.
Yeah. I think his last film came out in 92, 94? It was one or the other. Yeah. We miss you, Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah.
And of course,
he had such a bright future if he had kept going, unfortunately. His demons got the better of him. Yeah,
and then also Frank Welker, who, is everything animation.
Everything.
Everything. Most known, though, I think out of all the things he's done, he's most known as Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, of course, if you follow G.I. Joe and Transformers, he's done voices there, too.
Yeah.
Oh, he has done voices for those properties. Okay. Because I haven't watched the original Transformers. I haven't watched the original More Than Meets the Eye. I haven't done it yet. I know I got to get on that because people keep telling me if you're going to watch anything.
Hold on. Hold your horses here. You have not seen the original Transformers?
The original G1? No, I've only seen the Beast Wars animated series that I grew up on as a kid. I watched the Bayformers, which a few of those I wish I would want my money back, Michael Bay. And, I saw Bumblebee, and Bumblebee was fantastic. But I have not seen the original G1 movie. I haven't seen Transformers, the movie. I haven't seen that either. Yes, I know,
all
Terry,
right.
I'm behind.
So Terry says Transformers the movie, G.I. Joe the movie. With the death of Optimus Prime and Transformers, they changed Duke dying in G.I. Joe to he recovered, as Hasbro thought kids couldn't handle losing two of their heroes.
Huh.
Oh,
good to know.
Wow, I already knew the spoiler for Transformers the movie, but thanks for spoiling G.I. Joe the movie for me, Terry. Thanks. Because I haven't seen either one, man. My brothers grew up on that stuff. I didn't. I came later.
All right, so we know what to get Ryan for Christmas.
Yeah, go ahead and buy me some
That's
Transformers.
movies that he hasn't seen yet.
Get me some Transformers TV series or G.I. Joe the TV series properties. I don't care. I'll watch both of them. Especially the Transformers the movie that came out. What was it? Shout Factory did a remastered version. If you get me that, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
I'll
if
get
you
you.
want,
How
I
about
don't care.
How about I get you the Steel Book, because that one's
Oh, the Steelbook edition they came out with. Okay. No, that's fine. Hey, I've bought a few things from Shout Factory, so they got good stuff. Which I might continue to buy some more stuff when we go further. But anyway, enough about Transformers. Nobody cares about robots in disguise. No, they do. They do. I'm just making a joke, people. I know there's a big fandom for Transformers. Believe me, I see it on the internet when people are selling their toys. Okay, I've seen.
See, that's the thing. Like, Transformers wasn't a movie that you could really drag your parents to, but Free Willy, I remember going to see as a kid, and with my
well, there you go. Since you're talking about Free Willy, let's hop into
movies. Yeah, family movies. Yeah. I remember watching Free Willy on VHS. That's right, folks. VHS.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I saw that movie in theaters, and of course I cried.
You did cry. Okay. Well, yeah, I thought it was a fine. I thought it was a fine movie for. I thought it was a fine movie for its time. You have Lori Petty, aka Kit Keller from A League of Their Own, thrown in there as the trainer. You got what was the kid's name? Jonathan James Richter. What was his name?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had Jonathan James Richter, I want to say. He was the lead in a majority of the films, and then he also starred in the Neverending Story 3, Escape from Fantasia.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. He did Free Willy, and then he went over to Neverending Story as Bastian Balthazar Bucks. And then he just disappeared off the face of the earth, and we never saw him again. Where have you been, Jonathan? Jeez. Oh. But yeah, I remember Free Willy.
His name was Jason James Richter.
Oh, Jason James Richter. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jason. Sorry. But yeah, I remember watching that and Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home, and then what was Free Willy 3, The Rescue? Yeah, that was the third one. That was the third one. Does anyone remember getting? By the way, Warner Brothers has put this out. You can get all 4 Free Willy movies on the 4 film favorite set. So you get all 3 Free Willys, and then you get the 4th one that came out decades later with Steve Irwin's daughter, Bindi.
Yeah, that's the one that takes place in South Africa, I believe.
Oh, is it South Africa? Okay. Has anyone seen that? Has anyone seen the reboot with Bindi Irwin?
I've never seen that one.
I'd be curious to hear people's thoughts on it, just to see if it holds up to the original 3. I'm curious. Yeah. Let us know, Terry. We know you've watched movies because you keep yapping about G.I. Joe and Transformers. Come on.
But who else was in that? Michael Madsen was in
he played the foster dad.
Yeah. And then the guy that played Randolph would go on to play in the Twilight films, but I actually liked Free Willy. I think it had a good score and a good soundtrack.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, and then the Pretenders also had a song.
Oh, the Pretenders! Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. A song called "Forever Young."
Oh, okay. Yeah, Free Willy's had some good moments, had some good films in there. I haven't seen these films in a hot minute, but if they ever show up on a streaming service or I see them across my TV screen one day, I might, tape them and rewatch them. Man, we're going across the map here. We're going everywhere. We've talked about horses. We talked about baseballs. We talked about Free Willy, and Save the Whale campaigns. Like, I mean, we're going everywhere with this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Free Willy is a film that
you can't talk about family movies without mentioning Free Willy, because that was the movie to see in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, it had 2 special messages. It had the one message about animal research and protecting the animals and
animal rights.
And when they have them in the I'm gonna say this. I'm a fan of SeaWorld, and I love what they do. So like when films like Blackfish came out and tried to
Oh,
defame
yeah.
SeaWorld, my next door
Yes.
neighbor, he works with the dolphins at SeaWorld,
Mhm.
and they treat the animals with respect, and what SeaWorld does is super important, I think, to the world and research of these marine animals.
Mhm.
But it also talked about foster care.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah.
a whole. In a lot of movies, it seems like it's a taboo subject to be a
Mhm.
foster kid. But when they actually do it right, like they did in Free Willy, where, the kid has come from, multiple homes and is known to run away and stuff like that. It's nice to see, what a what a foster family can do for the kid, when he has an interest, and he was interested in the orca and wanting to learn more about sea life.
And then
So
they bonded. They had
Mhm.
like they became family.
yeah,
If you see how Willie and him and they interacted, like when he fell into the water, Willie wasn't going to let him drown. He saved him.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
If you know
Man.
anything about dolphins and whales, not just orcas, but whales in general, they're very family oriented, just like
Mhm.
elephants.
Mhm.
Um, they care about um,
yeah.
animals. There's not a lot of animals out there that are like humans, where like we care for our young and stuff like that. There's certain animals when they're young or born, they're there for a little bit, and they're like, here's the world, there you go.
And it was nice to get away from like the name of killer whale, and
Yeah,
actually learn that that's not the actual name of these creatures. It's you know the
Orcas.
orca, or
Mhm.
and there's also another message with Free Willy, is the message of the Native Americans as well.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because Randolph, they treated that
Yeah.
guy sometimes like shit.
Well, I mean, granted, it's been a hot minute since I've seen these movies, so I can't really comment or speculate. But I do remember. I don't know if anyone else remembers this. I remember going to the store and getting Free Willy 2: The Adventure Home on VHS when VHS was
Yeah.
awesome-tacular back in the day. And to a certain degree, they still are. I got plenty of VHS tapes in my corner of entertainment. But does anyone remember getting the VHS tape that came with that necklace that Randolph gave to the kid with the whale, like the
Yes.
Yeah.
brownish, goldish whale looking thing? I remember getting the VHS tape just because I wanted that necklace so I could wear it, because it was so cool looking, and like to say, hey, we care about the orcas. We want to help people. We want to save. Like, that's a supportive thing to get behind. So I was like,
I
yeah, I
think
need
a
the
lot
VHS
of
tape with
us
that
who wore
necklace.
that necklace in the
I
90s as
still have
well.
that necklace somewhere.
Oh, dude, you still have yours? Because I feel like I put mine in a storage container outside on my porch somewhere. One of these days I got to look through it and see if it's still there, because I have a feeling it is. But then again, that's a story for another episode. But
So
man, let's
Ryan,
see.
let me just give you a high five on that one.
I know, man. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Cool. Free social distance high five. Yeah, there we go. We did it. Yeah, so let's see. We talked about whales, talked about this, we talked about that, we talked about how great family films are. What other films are we missing here? Jeez, so many.
Well,
um,
while we think, let me go ahead and run an ad.
Stormgate Press presents a collection of 7 new short stories from today's leading authors and illustrators in the new pulp genre. Experience courageous two-fisted heroes and their intrepid and often dangerous exploits. From dark, watery depths to high-flying heights, these fantastic tales span the globe and take the reader on fast-paced adventures in classic pulp style. Take a seat as we pull back the curtain on Days Gone By with edge-of-your-seat storytelling in the vein of Golden Age era pulp fiction. This is Pulp Reality.
That looks awesome. I'm so prepared to read that. I'm a fan of the pulp era, noir stuff like The Shadow
Yes.
and the Phantom and all
Yes.
that.
The
The
Shadow knows,
Rocketeer.
Brian. The Shadow knows. Yeah. Yeah. Who knows
So
what evil
Ryan,
lurks in the hearts of men?
let me ask you, Ryan, have you seen The Rocketeer?
God, this is such
That
a silly.
is such
This
a good
is
movie.
such a silly question. Listen, Brian. We grew up in a decade known as the 90s, and there were tons of comic book movies in the 90s. Some good, some not. Batman and Robin being one of them, being terrible. But aside from Batman and Robin being garbage, The Rocketeer was fun. The Rocketeer is an established cast with Billy Campbell, a very beautiful, who doesn't seem to age all that much, Jennifer Connelly. And you also have a former James Bond playing your villain in Timothy Dalton. Hello, that's the ingredients for fun. And the movie's good. Does it hold up as much as it did 30 years ago? Maybe not so much, but it's still enjoyable to a fault. Yeah, and if I ever get the chance, I wouldn't mind reading some of the original Rocketeer comics one day, because I haven't done that yet.
Well, yes, The Rocketeer is a film that I hold dear because that is a near perfect film. Um, directed by Joe Johnston, who
Yes.
did Jurassic Park 3 and then Captain America: The First Avenger,
Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Yeah.
And there we go. There's another great family film as we hop into, Jumanji. Ryan, you want to go ahead and talk about Jumanji and the sequels?
Boy, I walked right into that one, didn't I? Why can't we just talk about comic book movies like Rocketeer and The Shadow and how cool that... No, I'm kidding. That's a show for another time, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about family films. But anyway, to the business at hand. The business at hand. What was the name of the movie again? Oh, yeah, Jumanji. So... Sorry, I got too distracted. Once I hear The Shadow, I just want to automatically read more and more and more and more comics and stories because I love The Shadow so much. I love The Shadow. But anyway, Jumanji was... That's another film I think everybody who watches the movie can relate to it in some way, shape, or form. I mean, maybe not getting lost in the middle of nowhere jungle for 26
Kind of how
years.
this year has gone.
Yeah, but with him, when Robin Williams' character Alan Parrish comes back after being away for 26 years, being stuck within the game itself, and finding out that his parents have died, they're gone, that hurts, man. Like when I hear that, I relate to it more now because, as I said before, I lost my dad at somewhat of a young age, so it was rough. But the movie itself, it has a spirit to it, and Robin Williams, Bonnie Hunt, a very young Kirsten Dunst, long before she was the iconic Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man 1 and 2, because 3 never happened. Nothing against
That
you,
was
Kirsten.
that was like your best Christopher Walken impersonation.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. I mean, which one are you, Brian? Are you the mouse? Are you the other mouse? But anyway, yeah, Jumanji's fun. Jumanji has its moments, especially when Robin Williams is trying to coax Bonnie Hunt into playing the game when she doesn't want to. You remember that? She's like, "Does anybody want some tea? I'm going to make some tea." Puts the sword down. Alan, why are you doing this? 26 years ago, it ruined my life. It ruined your life? Oh. In the jungle, you must wait until the dice read 5 or 8. I mean, his comebacks, and then what's his name? Jonathan Hyde plays his dad / the Hunter Van Pelt.
Yeah.
That's genius. That guy's a sharp actor. He's a sharp actor. So, yeah, it's on TV all the time, actually, Jumanji, the first one. It's fun. I don't think it's as good as I remember it 25, 26, 30,000 years ago. But it's good for a few laughs now and again, especially when the monkeys get into David Alan Grier's police cruiser and start monkeying around and messing around.
David Alan
with
Grier is a comedian that is totally underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. And so is his co-star BB Newworth, who plays the mother to the aunt to the two kids.
Aunt, yeah.
Yeah, BB Newworth. Who would have thunk that playing a shrink, the wife of a shrink on Cheers, and she can play a parent? Like, who'd have thunk? It's amazing.
Yeah. And, of course, David Alan Grier, most famously known for In Living Color.
Mm-hmm. I remember watching a few reruns of that series, so I have done a little bit of homework, Brian. In Living Color had its moments too. Not family friendly necessarily, but it is a funny show.
Yes, and I would love to talk about In Living Color down the road. I mean, there's so many great skits on that
Future
show.
episode ideas 2 months later.
Yeah.
See, Willow's writing this down. So she's being very diligent.
But you mentioned In Living Color, and there's another great family movie that had another actor in it. Can you consider The Mask as a family movie? Because apparently
it's
my list.
I mean,
It's not. It's not. It's too dark, too twisty, too many sexual innuendos. It's a 13 movie for a reason. It's yeah.
All right.
Could have been rated
Liar,
R,
Liar?
but they wanted a bigger audience, so they deteriorated it and made it a PG-13.
Hey, look who's there!
How about Liar, Liar?
Oh, Nicole loves that
See,
movie.
I have a hard time with that because it has a lot of good family tones to it, but it does, once again, sexual innuendos are thrown in there, which are not appropriate for children. So, I wouldn't say it's a family movie. It's not. It's not. I want it to be, but it's not. You're trying, Willow, but come on, you're 2 for 2 here. You need one more, and you're out of this ball game. So
on Google, this is one of my searches from one of my searches on Google. IMDb, it has a list of 100 family films, and that came up.
Well, IMDb, if I were in the executive creative offices, I would tell you you're incorrect on a few of these. So. Just saying.
Not to argue, but to be completely honest, I'm sorry, but anything with Jim Carrey in it is not family friendly. So when people say, well, we watched Ace Ventura, I'm like, no, it wasn't okay either. Like,
yeah, we as a family, we remember watching Dumb and Dumber religiously as kids. You know, when we were family around, right? No, that never happened.
All right, I guess they just threw that into have filler, but
nice try, IMDb.
But Terry does bring up Hook, which has Robin Williams in it.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that has been on TV a lot lately. They've been re-airing that like crazy on our good friends at Showtime. # not a sponsor yet. Yeah, that's been fun to go back and watch because that movie has a lot of heart and charm to it. Really does. Especially, by the way, the relationship between Robin Williams and Julia Roberts as Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. I do not believe in fairies. And then she passes out. And he's like, clap, Peter. Louder, Peter! And it's like, oh, God, you're alive. And then he's like, Firefly from hell. It's
Can we just say, though, the on-screen and off-screen chemistry between Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams on that film?
Oh.
So good.
Who would have thunk that Dustin Hoffman, a guy who only said 5 minutes to Wapner, 5 minutes to Wapner, in Rain Man, can play Captain Hook less than 4 years later? That's insane. You know, or was it 5? No, it was probably longer. Probably longer. Correct me if I'm wrong, IMDb, but wasn't Rain Man 85, not 88? I'm confusing that. But anyway.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, long story short, Dustin Hoffman has a lot of range. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain Hook was such a good film. I don't know why people crap on it, but it is a Rufy. Oh,
Okay. So I just have to put this up. Terry says I watched RoboCop as a kid endlessly. Doesn't make it family movie.
RoboCop is not a family film, man. That is so
okay, if you watched it with your family, if you watch any movie with your family, it makes it a family film.
Is that true? Willow, Terry, is that true? Put that in the chat. But RoboCop is the last thing I would ever consider that movie to be family friendly. That is that is a hard R-rated film.
So, would you consider this a family film?
It's about a family.
But they're kind of dead, so I don't know. Yeah, no, Beetlejuice is not a family film to me. It's not. The PG rating back then would be a hard PG-13 today. Hard PG-13.
I just got to say, this is by the great Scott Straka.
So good.
It is great artwork. More plugs, people. More plugs.
More plugs.
I like
Oh,
that
man.
comment. Maybe we done things in Ireland a little different.
Oh man.
He
You
says,
gotta
I
build up
remember you
your
being
tolerance
much
to
taller.
alcohol somehow, don't you?
So you know what? Here's a film that I don't know. It's from the '80s. It has Richard
Mhm.
Pryor in it. It's called The Toy.
I've never seen it, so I cannot comment nor speculate.
I mean, it's not really a family film, but it has an element of a son that is trying to get the attention of a father that's always busy.
Mm.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, they own like a chain of department stores, and Richard Pryor plays a worker that's like he's like the janitor, and he's in there in the middle of the night, and there's this thing called the Wonder Wheel, where it's like a blow up thing, and it's like a giant hamster wheel, and the son is in there, and the father's like, "You can have everything, anything in the store you want," and he goes, "I want that." He goes, "Oh, the Wonder Wheel? No, I want him." And he says, "The black man." And he's like, "You cannot own a person." And he ends up being like, he takes them and he's like, "Do it for my son. I'll pay you this amount of money, and I'll feed you and all that." So it's actually a good film. If you have not seen it, I recommend seeing The Toy. There is it's a hilarious film, but there is a message in there, and I think Ryan, you'll appreciate it.
Great. Let me add that to
Well,
my list that's like 60 miles long of movies Ryan needs to watch before he croaks, okay? Because this list is getting longer each and every day. And that's not even counting the 80s movies I still need to watch, like G.I. Joe, the movie, Transformers, the movie, insert 80s property here, the movie. Like, I'm just so behind on my 80s stuff and nostalgia. It's like, come on. But I will say
Don't forget,
this, though.
don't forget about the '70s.
Yeah, I got plenty of 70s films I've yet to watch. So trust me, the list is long, very, very long.
in the 90s, there was also, two properties that were remade. The Secret Garden. And
Ooh,
what
yes,
yeah.
The Secret Garden.
The
And
Secret
Secret
Garden.
was just
So
remade.
secret that they had to make a movie about it. Yeah.
And then there was also Indian in the Cupboard.
Oh,
That was a
man, how
huge
could we talk
thing in
about
the
family
90s
films
as well.
without that? The Indian in the Cupboard. Man, I remember
Mac
that.
and Me. Yes, Mac and Me.
Mind you, it was much better when I was a kid. Yeah, dude, I remember seeing the trailers for that. What was it, Mac and Me, when I was watching that mini series of videos that came out like long ago. It was called The Last Chance Detectives, and they would always have trailers for Mac and Me VHS tapes coming out at that particular moment in time. Which again, I haven't seen Mac and Me, Terry. I'm sorry to disappoint you again. This is the third time I've done this today, Terry. But
There's a link in the private chat for you, Ryan.
I know. Can you just messenger me everything? Because I'm going to forget about it like in 2 minutes here. But aside from that, Brian, just messenger it to me, okay? But aside from that, the Indian in the Cupboard, I remember watching that on video. I remember they came out with a special video cassette that looked like the cupboard, and it came with a key that you inserted in the middle of the clamshell case to pop it open. And then it came with like a necklace or something like that. It came with the Indian himself. It came with Little Bear. That's it. It came with Little Bear and the sheriff guy, I think, or just maybe it was just Little Bear. But man, Frank Oz directed that, and then you got the young kid in there. And by the way, my favorite scene, Willow, you remember this, in Indian in the Cupboard, when he puts a boatload of the best toys.
I was just going to say that. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, when he puts the best toy lines from that era at the time in his cupboard, and then he locks it, he turns the key again, pops it open, and who's alive? The T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Darth Vader with a lightsaber, RoboCop. You had SWAT people, police officers, and other characters. And then they're all looking at Omri like, hey, you just brought us to life. We got to talk about this. What was it? RoboCop looks at him verbally, and he says, halt. I'm surprised he didn't say, don't move or there will be trouble.
T-Rex?
Yeah, I think Darth Vader was fighting the T-Rex.
Yeah.
And then you had a SWAT team flying in there. You had a police officer, whatever. Like you had all these different characters. And I'm like, yep, I wouldn't mind watching a movie for 2 hours about these guys duking it out. Why not? But then again,
Dude,
they didn't have
I
the
would.
rights.
I saw that movie and I was like, dude, I wish I could actually have this cupboard. That would be so cool.
Every kid in the 90s wanted that cupboard.
What if our favorite toy lines came to life? Imagine, Brian, you're putting your Optimus Prime, your G.I. Joe, your Thundercats, your She-Ra. You got freaking Darth Vader and Princess Leia like coming to life in this cupboard, and they're all looking at you, asking you for direction. Like, hey, so how do you want to do this? Well, I want to have this character fighting this one. I want you over here, and I want you in the second row. Like the possibilities would have been endless back then.
So here's my thing though. So we're Power Ranger fans, right?
Yeah, I remember having the flip head figures.
All right, so if you took the Power Morpher and the coin and put it in there, what would happen?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's a good question.
Would you actually become a Power Ranger if you used it?
Are we talking about, hypothetically, like the Legacy Morpher or the one from back in '93?
Well, just any of those. Like, if you put them in there.
Oh, man. If they came to life and we actually put them on our wrists or put them behind us and did the thing, it's morphin' time kind of jazz, oh, man, I would want... That's a great question. If that were real, if I could actually physically morph into an MMPR or Zeo Ranger back then, yeah, I probably would have lost my mind. Yeah. I would have lost my mind, Willow. Let's be honest. I would have lost it. Yeah. That's a good question. Put that in the chat. I would love to hear people's thoughts about that. What if you took a toy that wasn't necessarily an action figure, but something that came from that property, but it was like a morpher, a watch from Inspector Gadget, or that communicator watch from Star Trek, Like, what would happen? Does anyone remember that? I mean, what would happen?
Or if you put a lightsaber, you put the lightsaber in there.
What about the model? What about the original model toy from Speed Racer?
Oh my god.
That would have been something. Does anyone remember those Speed Racer toys? I think I had one of the McDonald's ones or something. That's interesting. Yeah, can we make that happen? Imagine people out there, can we make a cupboard, like, do that sort of stuff? Give us a call.
We would need to go down to the Smithsonian and get that tablet that brings everything to life.
Yeah.
So this is funny. So that kind of leads into our next films. We're talking about magic cupboards and all that.
Yes.
At the museum.
Yeah. Well, we'll jump into that in a minute, but let's talk about Narnia.
Oh.
Which version? Because I remember watching the BBC version on video cassette, and then I remember watching the 2005 reboot from Walt Disney and Disney Pictures and Walden Media.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it all. I remember those original BBC ones, which were as close to the book as possible.
Fair.
I grew up on the books. We read the books in school. And then I seen the BBC specials, but I remember Disney was doing the big budget one. I was like, wow. And I walked out of that first film. I was like, okay, Disney, I see you.
Yeah, Prince John with the GIF. I see what you did there. Yeah, we know what you're doing. Yeah, you remember that GIF where he just points at him? He's like, yeah, I see what you did. The BBC version was good, but when the 2005 Disney reboot / Walden Media version came out, that movie knocked me on my you-know-what because it was so good. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is so good to the point where I went on a website. I think it's called Amazon. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it.
Harry,
oh my goodness. He lives a few minutes from C.S. Lewis's own house that he grew up at. That's insane, Terry. That's insane. By the way, Terry, watch out. We're going to be doing some traveling when Earth reopens, of course. But anyway, Chronicles of Narnia: Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's a great film. You know who's in it, right? Professor Xavier, James McAvoy is Mr. Tumnus.
Oh yeah, that's before anybody knew who he was.
Exactly, which makes it all the more special. You have what's his name? Ray Winstone was the voice of Mr. Beaver. And Mrs. Beaver, whoever she was phenomenal, by the way. Who was wasn't the White Witch Tilda Swinton?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think it was Tilda Swinton, wasn't it? The White Witch? Yeah. See, there you go. You got some big name up and coming stars at the time in those films. So yeah, the Lion, the Witch, and the I love that movie so much, Brian, that I went to a lovely jungle of the Amazon and I found the 2-disc Blu-ray DVD set before Disney put everything back in its respective
Ryan,
vault.
yes.
And I bought it. What was that, Willow?
Tilda Swinton did play the White Witch, yes.
See, I'm great at coming up with these fun facts about movies, folks. Maybe I should host a movie talk show. Oh, wait, I already do that. But, no, I host a few things. I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. But, yeah, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I enjoy. Willow, have you seen this movie, the 2005 version?
I'm going to say no because I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. I didn't read the book, so I felt kind of... I didn't want to watch the movie without reading the book first.
Oh, you want to do your due diligence. Okay. All right. Well, you got some homework to do after the show then, Willow, and then you got to watch the movie. So there you go. But that's a fun movie to bring up.
Yeah, that is.
Great visual effects, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Peter Jackson's effects company is off the hook.
Very true. Peter Jackson deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah. Whatever those people in New Zealand are eating and drinking, I want some because they're super
Whatever those crazy Kiwis are eating and drinking in New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've gone through the wardrobe for Narnia, and now we're in DC, and we're looking for this tablet, and that would be Night at the Museum, which is...
I like those movies. Those are cute movies.
To me, the second one is the best. To me, Battle of the Smithsonian is the best one, hands down. I mean, look who shows up in that movie. Like all the classic characters you remember from the first, but also some new ones. You get Oscar the Grouch makes a cameo. Darth Vader makes a cameo. You got the ruby slippers from Wizard of Oz making a cameo. Like you have all these historical artifacts making appearances.
We have a future Oscar winner.
Yeah. Yep, you had Hank Azaria, you had Robin Williams coming back, you had Rami Malek was in it. I mean, Battle of the Smithsonian. And by the way, the love interest between Larry Daly and Amy Adams as Amelia Earhart, if they would have made a biopic about Amelia Earhart with Amy Adams as Amelia, I would have watched the heck out of that. I mean, they've made a few biopics about Amelia Earhart over the years, specifically one with, I believe it was Hilary Swank and Richard Gere. Is it Hilary Swank and Richard Gere, or is it one of it? I know that I can't remember who the woman who played Amelia was, but I still want to watch that. What was that, Terry? Oh wow! So that was a show that Ryan was not here for. Thanks for rubbing that in my face, Terry. Yeah. I don't even know where I was going with that. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Night at the Museum. Yeah, second one's the best. If anyone disagrees with me, that's fine. You're still wrong, though. Willow, what's your favorite of the whole trilogy?
You know what? I liked the first one. The second one was fun, too. Oh, man. The first one where there was just so much happening in that movie.
Can we just say Owen Wilson is hilarious in all three films?
Owen Wilson did such an amazing job in that film.
Fire up the Iron Horse, boys.
And who was it who played the leader of the Romans?
Scott Coogan, right?
Yeah, I believe that's
his
name.
Is that his name, Willow? Scott Coogan or Josh Coogan? One or the other. But yeah, I remember him. The relationship between like the Cowboys and the Romans. That was funny too. Like, hey, we get this side of the world. No, we get this side, or whatever the case may be. And then who was another one? The dinosaur, the T-Rex is trying to eat him, and then the Tibetan statue was like, "You're dumb, or whatever."
Coogan. Steve Coogan is his name.
Steve Coogan. All right. I was on the right track.
And Ricky Gervais. I mean, he was hilarious
as the museum curator. Yeah.
Yep.
And then who played his love interest? Was it Rachel Weisz? I think was the love interest for Ben Stiller in the first one. Rachel Weisz. She was like an assistant or research assistant or whatever it was.
No, it was
Carla.
It was Cugino, Carla Gugino.
Yeah,
that's how you say it. Thank you.
Okay, so it was Carla. Sorry, I got the two mixed up. I mean, all these lovely actresses, they all look so beautiful.
And then the great Dick Van Dyke.
Oh
Dick
yeah.
Van Dyke and Mickey Rooney both made cameos in that movie.
Rest in peace, Mickey Rooney. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, and Bill Cobbs, he was hilarious.
But rest in peace, Mickey Rooney, because one of the true legends, right? All of them are legends, but yeah, Mickey Rooney, we miss you, buddy. Especially when I watched one or two of the films that he and the late great Judy Garland teamed up on together. Man, that's kind of like lightning in a bottle. Those two, magic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, more legends that have been gone too soon.
Yeah. Oh, dingo.
Whoa, geez, are the kids and the dogs and
Speaking
the
of
cats living together with mass
legends.
hysteria back there? Gee whiz.
Speaking of
Someone's
legends,
upset.
how about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? The original.
Gene Wilder. Wrong, sir.
Ah.
Wrong. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Oh, by the way, that whole spiel at the end of the movie is just Willow. I mean, you remember when he's talking about the contract? It's
Yeah.
all here, black and white, clear as crystal. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You pumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember that speech?
That was
So
Willy
great.
Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because the remake was called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and let's not talk about that one.
Yeah, it was made by a guy who is a little too cuckoo.
Sorry,
for
I
puffs.
apologize for my little blip.
No, it happens.
But the book was actually called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes, it was. So at least they paid tribute to that in that way, shape, or form. But the original movie with Gene Wilder is everyone says it's far superior.
Absolutely. Okay, Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka creeped me the hell out.
I think the movie was meant to be a creeper movie, not a family movie.
He looked like
It was a Tim Burton film, like
Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
all his films have a look.
You know, Tim Burton. Tim Burton's been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs since he was a kid. So it's like,
but he actually looked like Michael Jackson in that. Sorry,
really?
that was really, really creepy.
I know a few people, well, not a few, but I know like one or two people who enjoyed that. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But yeah, Willy Wonka's another good family. Not one of the. It's good. It's fine. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting a.
Yeah, the boat ride was terrifying and awesome at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things that happen in that movie, specifically, especially with the Baruka. Oh my gosh, that girl. Woo!
Dude, I want it now.
She would not be quiet that whole movie. Violet, you're turning violet. Violet. I mean, it's just, my goodness gracious. A lot of creepy stuff happens in that movie. But yet again, some of those kids maybe it deserved it. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Baruka, I'm coming, sweetheart. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, Brian, let's get off this weird train because I'm going to start quoting Willy Wonka, and I don't want to do that. It's
all right,
not in my repertoire.
let's talk about a very popular book series that's not Harry Potter that was turned into a fairly successful film franchise, and that's The Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Aww.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Those are family movies, I would say. I haven't seen a single one of them or read the books, but I've heard things.
Yeah, they are fantastic books. If you have not read the books, please read them. They are funny. You could read them with your children, and as an adult, you'll understand a lot of the stuff in it. Not saying it's really adult stuff. It's just like you could actually look at. If you have children, you would understand it. But there's things in there that we do as adults that the child is talking about, and you're like, oh yeah, I could see that. But the films are really good. Steve Zahn plays the dad. And in the first three, and then the fourth one, it was kind of a soft reboot. They had a new cast because the kid got older, of course. And there's actually a connection to a film that was based on a book to Nicole. One of the students that she taught with in Las Vegas was in the film adaptation of How to Eat
How to Eat.
Was it How to Eat Canned Worms? Is that what it was?
How to
Sounds
Eat
familiar.
Worms and something
No,
like that. But
it sounds familiar though. I think we're getting
Fried
somewhere with
worms.
that.
How to eat fried worms.
Oh,
Yeah.
fried worms, Brian.
so the kid that's in that film actually went to the school in Las Vegas that Nicole was working at.
Really?
Okay.
That is
Yes.
fascinating.
Yeah, so like that was like when that film came out, like that was the talk of the whole school.
Wow. So, well, I may not have, young Padawans of my own, but I do have nieces and nephews. Do you think they would enjoy these books?
Yes. I mean,
Okay,
I
well,
am a 40-year-old man and I enjoy those books.
okay.
So
Well, they're young. Hey, Brian, my niece and nephew are still young, so I can probably get them into a few things before they, start to get
It
old,
is-
as children tend to do.
The
I mean,
holiday season is almost upon us, so
The
The holiday
Christmas
season.
present gifts.
they keep releasing these books. Like the last
Wait a
time I
minute.
checked, I think they're on like the 10th book or
Oh,
something
they're
like
on
that.
10 books. I was going to ask
Wow.
you, do you think they have like the set of those books of what's in the series of Diary of a Wimpy Kid thus far at Ollie's?
Probably.
They might.
That's a good point because I got a coupon from them. Not to get sidetracked here, but I do have a coupon from Ollie's that I haven't used yet. Maybe I should go over there and buy a couple more
Ollie's is not
books.
sponsoring the show yet.
No, they're not. But I should probably head on over there and buy some more books for myself and see if I can get some early holiday presents for my family and my nieces and nephews. Maybe I
Bless
should
you.
go over there. Bless you, by the way, in the backstage area. Bless you again, backstage. Maybe I should get some more books at Ollie's because that's one of the best things about that place. They got tons and tons of books for different ages of different sizes.
Oh yeah, they have great graphic novels at great prices.
Yeah,
So once
which
again,
reminds
not
me.
sponsored by Ollie's.
I know,
but please.
I know they're not, but I know they dropped a lot of graphic novels recently over there. I should probably take a drive. But yeah, Diver and Wimpy Kid, How to Eat Fried Worms, even though I wouldn't condone that in today's society with COVID-19. But let's see, what else are we missing here? Any other family films that we have missed, audience? The 20,000 and a half people watching us at home?
Well, while we think about that, let's run another clip here.
And she's here.
Yeah, surprise. I just got to say, wow, Josh Bauer, I mean, the dude does it all. He's fantastic. And as you can see right back there, his trees. Trees. Squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah, the way he paints trees is amazing. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot. Which reminds me, Josh, we'll be in touch later about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may need some trees for my mental health state. But because hey, looking at trees or other beautiful things within nature, it calms people down during a rough day at the office. So we could all use a mental health break now and then. Am I right, COVID-19? You've ruined everything.
Wait, what kind of trees are we talking about here?
No,
This
the
is a
trees
family
like
show.
the ones that Josh paints.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. I don't
Yeah,
even know.
Yeah, we're talking about painted trees on canvases, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about artwork.
I don't think that I need to know what other trees there are.
Yeah,
I've
I don't
had
know what
enough
Brian's thinking.
education
Brian's got a
for-
sick, twisted mind on Saturdays. I don't know why. But
I've had
welcome to
enough education.
but welcome to
for-
the show, Nicole. How are you doing on this Saturday?
Hi. Guess I'm okay. I got no complaints. I just drove home.
We hope it was a pleasant
I
drive.
tried to join through my phone, but
Phones don't. I don't know. StreamYard
Brian,
is
or phones
very
can be
weird when
finicky,
it comes
and Brian
to
doesn't know how
using.
to. No, never mind. Brian's fine. I was gonna make a terrible joke that wouldn't make any sense, but it's okay.
Well, the Bluetooth on the car was picking up, and then when I turned the Bluetooth off, then I couldn't hear you guys, and then all I heard was like this chatter. It was really weird. So I was like, well, that's not gonna work. Never mind. So
Well, I guess the question on the table here is that since Nicole, you're a little bit late to this party about family films. Do you have any family films that you would like to share some thoughts and feelings or memories about that we haven't mentioned as of yet in this 2.5-hour
I
show?
don't know what you mentioned.
Well, we talked about
almost
like
everything.
the stuff. Yeah, almost everything.
I mean, like for our kids, like I think a lot of things are not off the table as far as what's family films for us. So as soon as the kids expressed an interest in watching Beetlejuice, I think that they would. We've seen Goosebumps probably 800 times. So
both of those films, I think, are great films, like for a family. I mean,
but my children also think that Harley Quinn is a cartoon for kids. So,
again, if you watch it with your family, it'll become a
may
family
or
film.
may not win Mother of the Year, but oh well.
Right.
I mean, I figure here's the thing. Like there are some things kids shouldn't know about, and I get that. But then there's other things that I think within the conversation that you can have about those things is one thing. Like my kids are not going to understand Jim Carrey's sexual innuendos in The Mask or in Liar. But with the fact that they're outright, they're not even innuendo in Ace Ventura. Like, so my kids would get it in Ace Ventura and they would make fun of, it would be a fart joke or a penis joke or whatever it is, but they'd get it then. Yeah. So I think it depends on what it is. Like when they watch Harley Quinn, they pick up on the bad words and they laugh at the fact that they're swearing, but they never pick up the fact that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are more than friends. And they don't pick up on the fact that what's the guy, the head, the mental crazy big-headed one. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Dr. Psycho.
So they don't pick up that Dr. Psycho is just a disgusting little pervert. Thank God. But like they don't pick up on those things. So when we don't condone it, like we don't, have conversations about it, then it's not teaching them, I guess, what it is. But I digress about my parenting style. But
wouldn't Sleeping Beauty be like your family film? Like because you would watch it over and over and over.
I think anything Disney. Like I don't think the boys have ever watched the movie with me, but I think anything Disney, well, he's right though. Like Labyrinth, not a Disney movie. Or not a family movie. Yes, it's not a Disney movie either, but it's not a family movie. That movie scared the fuck out of me when I saw it.
Willow was kind of scary too.
And Willow was kind of scary. It really was. Like
I just saw Legend for the first time like a week or two ago, and
which version?
The whatever was on TV, the show, it was on Showtime, so it was
the one with.
Well, no, there's a director's cut and a theatrical cut.
But the version I saw was on TV. It was on show, but it wasn't like an edited TV version. It was like the full length movie, but it was on Showtime or Cinema. It was one of the two. But
that movie scared me too. So
I watched it and I was like, okay, this movie looks great visually, but the story is it's fine, but it's too simple. It's there's really no depth. There's really no layers to this onion that you could peel to make it all that more sweeter and make you cry buckets of tears, because I know onions don't do that. But Legend looks great visually, and I like the score and the soundtrack, and the creatures look good. The heroes, like what was it? I can't remember her name.
Tim Curry
as Darkness. You have for the life of me, I keep forgetting her name. I don't know why, but she plays the princess. She was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was in Time Cop as Jean-Claude Van Damme's wife. Like, good cast, good visuals, but not a deep enough story. That's why if I had to pick Legend or Neverending Story, I'm picking Neverending Story any day of the week,
Yeah.
twice on Sunday.
The kids did enjoy Neverending Story. I do have to say that they did enjoy that. But like to hold our kids, Mia Sorvino, yeah. In order to hold our kids to something that like to interest them, it's got to be something a little bit more over the top. Like we must have just not been so desensitized because like our kids need stuff to be hitting them like 5 million miles an hour for them to stay interested in it. So like Neverending Story, like we managed to get them to watch it, but I don't think.
And there is a movie that we haven't reached yet. We'll talk about towards the end because I think it is like the creme of the top of family movies. And if Willow is reading my mind, she might already know what I'm talking
I
about.
think I know, but
And then the
go
boys
ahead, say yours.
the boys did not enjoy they didn't really enjoy what was the other one? Dark Crystal. Like which for me is like the end of the world. But
See, puppets scared me as a kid. Puppets creeped me out. Although, okay, having said that, I absolutely loved the Muppets, the Muppet Show, and all the Muppet films.
Dark Crystal was scary.
That's pure family entertainment right there. Is the Muppets. If you want to raise your kids, your nieces, your nephews, which they're awesome by the way, you need watch Muppets. Anything. It could be Muppets Take Manhattan. It could be Muppet Treasure Island. It could be Muppet Christmas Carol. Which, by the way, holiday season, fasten thy seatbelts.
I question though, like the Muppets when we were kids is one thing, but the Muppets now, like to watch the Muppet Show now, I was like, either I was the dumbest kid ever, and those jokes were still happening when I was 10, or they've ramped it up a little bit. Like it's a little more, I don't want to, it's not racy, but it's a little more
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, than I ever thought Muppets were when I was a kid. So
I mean, Kermit.
Well, the thing about the
buddies,
Muppets, I think, is like a Pixar film where Pixar films are made for everybody.
Like multiple levels of ages that would enjoy it. And Disney does that too. Like they kind of like, they have a target audience of families, but they also have lots of like depth of whatever. Like the way I watched Inside Out was different than I think the way the kids would have watched it. And
really good movie too.
I mean, there's certain things that like still to this day, like the way I watch Onward, is different than the boys will watch it because the boys have their father and I didn't. So that quest to find your father because you've lost him, and like I was damaged goods the whole like 24 hours after I watched that movie. So I think that, I guess it depends on what it speaks to you about, but when you're watching it with somebody like we watched.
Well, we were talking about Soul, which comes out Christmas Day. She's already crying.
I'm dead.
She's not.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
We're not. If the theaters are open and running that movie, we are not going to the theater to see it.
Well, it's already coming on Disney.
I will not be able to. Like, and people laugh. Like you guys were talking about Free Willy and how you cried during Free Willy. Like, don't. If it was a sad movie, then I probably cried. Like it was, like it takes nothing to make me cry at a movie.
But that's because she looks deep into, like she reads into it. It's not just the movie. Like she actually reads what the message is there. Where a lot of people don't understand the message is being slapped at you. They're not seeing it, but Nicole will see that.
But it's also that experience you have too.
I'm the type who will cry at the end of Beaches. Okay, I will actually cry at the end of Beaches. So it's,
I cry at the end of anything. Like if a parent dies, if a dog dies, if anybody dies, I'm dead. Like I can't.
Okay, two things. One, Willow, you just brought up the Seinfeld thing because Seinfeld had a girlfriend who was sitting on Jerry's couch and crying bit by bit when Beaches was playing, and Jerry's like, it's not like somebody died. It's Beaches, for God's sake. It's the Seinfeld in me is jumping up and down when you say Beaches.
You need to see Ryan to understand what we're talking about.
Wasn't there a movie called Beaches on cable last night? Wind Beneath My Wings, huh? Give me a break. And the Bette Midler is, once you get some talent, then you can mouse off. But aside from that, Brian, I don't think we brought up one of the creme de la creme of family movies. People may think I'm crazy. They may think I'm from another galaxy. And that's fine, because I came into this movie a little bit later on after it had already come out. The movie about taking your brother away from his current situation and taking him on a road trip to California to win, what was it, $50,000 in Video Armageddon in 1989? Honest to God, I think Fred Savage's The Wizard is pure family goodness, man. Yes, there's some curse words. Yes, there's one or two little overtones. But aside from that, you can't deny the iconic synthesizer beat score, the great 80s soundtrack that's just awesome to hear every single day of the week and twice on a proverbial Sunday. But just
and
to
the
watch
introduction of Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yes, I mean you get the Power Glove. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Like you hear that line, you see all these different games being played by all these different kids in multiple arcades and winning money. I mean, you're winning the lottery by watching The Wizard. And if you haven't seen that film, ladies and gentlemen, once again, go out, find it, stream it, buy it. I don't care. Go to Shout Factory, buy the remastered version with a plethora of special features on it, which I bought. And you'll enjoy the heck out of it. And call me in the morning because you'll enjoy it. Anyway, back to you, Brian, in the studio.
Did we watch Big with the kids?
We have not watched Big with the kids.
That's a good one.
I'm just asking because it's in the comments, and it was like the Burbs. The kids are not going to see the Burbs yet because God help us all.
But watching Big, though, has its good, heartfelt family moments, and it's directed by the late great Penny Marshall. So definitely give it a watch.
And the kids have seen Ghostbusters probably 25 times. Like they're ridiculous. Like
yikes.
And what's big though on the Blu-ray that's been out a couple of years, I guess there's a director's cut of that I've never seen that version. I would like to on Big, the movie Big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was with the 25th anniversary edition, which by the way, Brian, I own it. So I've seen both cuts.
And then I don't know if the kids have watched The Princess Bride. Like,
see, I was saving that for last because I think that's the creme of the top of family movies. I think.
I don't know.
That is so hashtag overrated to 1,000%. That movie is so overrated. So overrated.
I think the ultimate family movie is The Wizard of Oz.
You want to kick it back to 1939 there, Willow.
See, to me, I kind of think that The Wizard of Oz is a little bit more overrated than
I would. Honestly, we could talk all day long, but like the stuff that I like to watch with the kids is stuff that is just cute. Like for us, like I love the buddy movies. So I know it's kind of sappy and kind of weird, but any of those movies where the dogs talk and there's the whole family thing, like I still love Hotel for Dogs. Like,
that's a good one.
Hotel for Dogs is like if it's on TV, the kids will sit and watch it, and they'll sit and watch it with me because I'll sit and watch it. And
have you seen the Beverly Hills Chihuahua series?
All of them, yeah. Every single one of them.
Wow, fun fact about those. What was it? I think Aaron Cahill, the Pink Time Force Ranger, is the voice in some of those movies, if not one of the characters.
Might be.
Yeah.
So there you go, Aaron. Congrats.
So I just, like even Love and Monsters, like when we were talking about Love and Monsters, like it was kind of teen sort of, but like the kids enjoyed it. They were like, but Mom, if you look in the eyes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, I mean, they had fun watching that movie too. So it has to have a little bit of something for everybody. They will watch The Burbs, but when I watched The Burbs kind of scared me, and I was like 10 when I watched it. But I think
Brighton would get a kick out of The Great Outdoors.
I was a big chicken.
Okay, The Great Outdoors and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles are such great films. I don't know if you can you count that as family films? I don't know. because
Not playing
very-
trains and automobiles.
Not playing trains and automobiles. Maybe the great outdoors, and I think anything that has to do with family, because you watch
Uncle
how
Buck.
Uncle Buck,
Uncle Buck, yes.
even though, you know, but even if you're thinking about it, like I'm not even about the swearing and stuff, and even some of the sexual innuendo, my kids don't get it, so I don't pay attention to it. But like, they didn't. I don't think they would freak out about that because they hear enough out of my mouth that I don't think that would be a problem.
Well, okay, and then there's like Addams Family.
Oh, we've seen all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Last
Gremlins,
month.
Gremlins, the first one when I was little scared me, but Oliver watched it, and then again, nothing scares Oliver, so I don't know why.
Gremlins was hilarious.
I love Gremlins too. I love Gremlins. So like, and I do watch it every Christmas.
There's your tease for a future episode of Reels and
I mean,
Heels on the interwebs.
You don't have to think that I'm right, but I mean, I appreciate the fact that it's at least kind of it's a campy, funny, you know, movie to watch on Christmas when you're just stuck at home. You know, like when there's nothing going on, like in between parties and stuff.
Well, if we're talking that, then let's talk about Goonies. That is a family movie right there.
Well, my kid is already doing the truffle shuffle, so hey.
Again, parenting gone right.
Come on, do it. Oh man.
Although,
come on, guys.
Hey guys, you gotta let me in. I just saw the most amazing thing in my entire life. You guys are not going to believe this. There were 2 cop cars, right? And they were driving down the street. All this action was going on. It was the most amazing thing I ever saw. More amazing than the time you said Michael Jackson came over to your house to use the bathroom.
Can we just say that in that film, Thanos was really good?
Yeah, as Brand, yeah. I mean, you know, losing his mind when his tires got blown out, and then he uses a girl's bike just to catch up to Mikey and his buds, and then finally he realizes, hey, we might be onto something here. Can we look at this treasure? But guess what? I'm the oldest, which means I'm in charge. That's what I said. I said booby traps. No. Yeah, Kihai Kwan, we love you, man. He's a great person if you ever meet him at a convention. Kihai Kwan, a.k.a. Data, a.k.a. Short Round from Temple of Doom, which was an Indiana Jones film that never happened. He's a great person. He's a wonderful human being. I'm sorry, Key, but it wasn't your fault. Temple of Doom was just...
Maybe only here because she helped me direct her.
So don't get me started on Temple of Doom. But that is not a family movie, ladies and gentlemen. Without Temple of Doom, we would not have the PG-13 rating we have today. But what were we saying? The Goonies, yeah. Joe Pantoliano, guys like the guy who played Sanchez in License to Kill, Robert Davey. There he is. Robert Davey was in it. You had
what was the other one? Like
yeah, I can't remember the other guys.
Same time period where.
Well, the Monster Squad.
Yeah, the kids kind of watched that one. They didn't like it as much,
but the Goonies had a really good soundtrack. Let's be honest. I mean, Cyndi Lauper doing the theme song with WWE Superstars for the music video.
Yeah.
That was something, wasn't it?
And then, so my kids at school, someone is not parenting them correctly because
troublemakers.
Not yours. Because they're not. They did not know the Karate Kid. Like I said something about.
The original because
I said something about
wasn't karate.
Pat Morita. Like they said something and I said it's not like the catching the flies.
Yeah.
So some kid said she caught a fly and I said, did you catch him like Pat Morita and the Karate Kid? Because I thought she would at least get it. What are you talking about, Pat Morita? I'm like,
trying to catch fly chopstick, and then Daniel-san. And then Daniel-san gets it.
Are you kidding me?
Like,
they're like, yeah, I think we've seen Karate Kid, but we don't know who Pat Morita is. And I'm like, I can't talk anymore.
Well, then you need to watch the Karate Kid.
Cobra Kai was the #1 streaming show on Netflix when it came out, and it splashed back the Karate Kid and it showed Mr. Miyagi.
Yes, but I didn't say Pat Morita. I said Mr. Miyagi, and they did not know who Mr. Miyagi was, and I was so disappointed. And I said, I can't talk to you guys anymore. Like, you don't know who that is, and like, well, we know we didn't know who Mr. Miyagi was. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you've never seen The Karate Kid? Oh, The Karate Kid. We've totally seen The Karate Kid. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Would you
And
say
the one
that-
girl is like, Ralph Macchio. I know who Ralph Macchio is. And I'm like, that's fantastic. You're my new favorite kid. Because nobody else got it. I'm like, you guys, I can't even be in the same room as you.
So the
Would you
person.
say-
No
would you
parents
call
are
Karate
as
Kid a
cool as
family
you.
Let me
film?
see if
I
I
was.
have this right. If one of your students or whoever it was knows who the Karate Kid is and the other person doesn't, do you just tell the one student who knows what the karate? Do you whisper in his ear, "Sweep the leg"?
I did not. However, I did tell them they were my new favorite kid. But I
Okay, 'cause
have
you
a lot
could-
of
'cause
kids
you-
that have strange, like they know strange things about the time period. And
Yeah.
so somebody said something, I don't know what they were talking about the one day, and I'm like, you realize that that's not new.
Mm,
And they're
You
like,
could-
what do you mean it's not new? And I said, we were doing that in 1992. And they went, what? And I said, yeah. So all the stuff you guys are doing now, like that, you know, the mushroom haircut, like the
Oh
it's
God.
down the sides, but it's all curly on top, and it's like, "Rrr."
Oh yeah.
That's back. I have like 10 kids that have that same haircut. So like the
Really?
Joe McIntyre haircut from like the night from
Yeah.
up. Yeah. Same haircut. Same haircut. I'm like, it's not new, guys. They're pegging the legs of their jeans. I'm like,
Dude, the greasers were doing that in the 50s.
y'all,
Yeah.
the shit you're doing is not new. Like nothing is new. Neon colors of everything. I'm like, y'all, really?
That was the 80s.
I was like, that's not new
I'm just-
either.
Can we not bring things from the 80s back? That would be helpful.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just glad I finally saw the Karate Kid a few years ago, and then I liked it so much that I have it on VHS and I have it on Blu-ray because I was at a toy show last year and a guy was selling a boatload of Blu-rays for like real cheap, and I got Karate Kid and National Lampoon's Vacation or whatever it was for like $5 each, and I was like, "Yep, I'm buying these because the Karate Kid is great and I want it." So yeah.
Well, I have a kid in my class that has aviator glasses. Like they're kind of the
Top
big
Gun.
ones with the top, like but they're actual eyeglasses, and they have transitions lenses in them that turn to sunglasses when he goes outside. And the one kid he said something snarky to the one kid. And another kid in the classroom turned to him and said, "Well, the 80s called. They want their glasses back." And I was like, "Okay." They're sort of, reaffirming my understanding again, but
Yeah.
Thank you for calling me old.
Aside from your pick, Brian, of you thinking that Princess Bride is the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to family films, I'll take that and I'll raise you. The Karate Kid is a much better family film than Princess Bride. I'm sorry. Like, I'll take Karate Kid over Princess Bride any day of the week.
I think any coming of age story is a good family film that you watch with your kids and say, like, this is we get it because we've all been there. Like we've all gone through this nonsense of growing up.
What's the matter? Do we
definitely
have to hear
varies
the
from
kissing
person
part?
to person
Someday you may
who
not mind so much.
it definitely varies depending on the person you're talking to. But Mary Poppins will always be one of my favorites.
I mean, anything
see
you
this-
can sing to,
Yeah.
I think. Like,
Yeah. Did you see the
I love
sequel that
watching
came out,
Breakfast
Willow?
with
Did you
Boys.
see Mary Poppins
No,
Returns?
I want to watch it, but at the same time, I still hold on to the original.
Well, you know what?
The one with Emily Blunt is very good. It is very good.
It's not like good like the original. It's good in a different way, and
It's like reinventing something that is, because Mary Poppins is not really timeless. Like the original is not really timeless.
and Emily Blunt wasn't trying to copy
It was
Julie,
to make it
Julie Christie?
Julie
Not
Andrews.
Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews.
Um,
Why do I keep getting these two? Yeah, Julie Andrews. Sorry.
But it wasn't meant to make it better or worse. It was just to revamp it. I think it was to bring it back into our times, because no matter what you say, you can't sing a song about a chimney sweep and have that be timeless.
Yeah,
it's not timeless. Like
I think
it's just not.
Disney also wanted, because how many Mary Poppins books were there? There was a few books, right? So I think they were trying to continue the story.
Probably. What are you doing?
He's eating Captain Crunch.
Oh, Mister, I hate Captain Crunch.
But to go back to the Karate Kid, when you saw the Karate Kid, what did you take away from it, Ryan? Like the actual story, like especially between Daniel and Miyagi.
Yeah, since I was the very, very, very late bloomer in seeing this movie, folks. I know I should have seen it when I was a kid, but I lived under a few different rocks when I was younger. The Karate Kid being one of them. So, no, after seeing the movie, I really liked it because of the soundtrack. I thought the story was really well done. I thought it was the intent of it was really well intentioned. I think it was well told, and the balance between why Mr. Miyagi was teaching Daniel the things he was teaching him, whereas John Kreese is teaching the Cobra Kai kids to do things a different way. Those two sides of the coin complement each other. So to me, I think the movie was really good. It's really well balanced. And by the way, Elizabeth Shue, honey, you were everywhere in the 80s, and I love you all the more for it. So I really wish they would have continued the relationship between Daniel-san and Ali in the Karate Kid sequels, but that never happened because of creative differences with Hollywood. But yeah, the Karate Kid is a solid film. I would watch it with anyone, any day of the week, twice on Sunday. Daniel-san, I mean, wax on, wax off. Remember to breathe, very important. I mean, come on, it's good advice.
We're back.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Hi. How you doing?
And you can't mention Karate Kid without mentioning Little Monsters.
Oh yeah, and we did watch that with the boys.
We did watch it with the boys, and they did enjoy it. However, I don't know that was always necessary.
That was a scary movie, man. That movie scared me when I was a kid. Yeah, good film.
He uses the apple juice bottle and he drinks it. The kid thought that was hilarious. It's
and he put the cat food on the sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like, and then, but the funny thing about that is when they're putting this whole scheme together, the very end of it, it's like, Maurice, what did you eat today, man? Robbie's gonna be pissed. And then he closes the fridge, and I'm like, oh man, that's way too on the nose.
Who pissed in my apple juice?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm surprised. Like, Howie Mandel, it seems like he kind of
he let loose back then.
Yeah, he like his comedy is so different from what it is now. But I will always love him as from Bobby's World.
Ah, Bobby's World, yeah.
If you can find it, if it's on YouTube or streaming anywhere, watch his stand-up from when he before the cartoon came out.
I can't.
He does a segment of Bobby with it's not a balloon, it's something else, but it's hilarious.
See, I can't watch a lot of his older comedy stuff. I don't know. There's something like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have ADD and I'm not really following.
Willow, take Shia LaBeouf's advice. Just do it. That's all you gotta do. Make your dreams come true.
But I feel the same way about Bob Saget. Like, I cannot.
Oh, he's not Danny Tanner.
He is not.
Dude, he is like his.
I cannot watch. I can't watch
the stories I've heard about him outside of Full House and how raunchy he gets. It's like, dang,
oh my God,
man, you were tame when you were in Full House.
He's funny. He's just very raunchy.
And it's like okay, it's like finding out like your dad was a porn star or something. Like I could not do it. Like I see Danny Tanner and then I hear that and I'm like,
I know, like, this guy was America's dad for 8 years.
It's like seeing Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo. It's like it's disturbing.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like, oh, it's Patch Adams and it's Hong Kong on the nose and yay, woo woo. And then you're like, holy shit. Like,
yeah, he has range. That? Like all those actors, they have, I mean, Robin Williams especially, that guy had mad range back then. So.
See, a lot of when you're a comedian, I think you play well into more serious roles because of the fact that it's giving you a chance to play a different character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Jim Carrey with a lot of his serious roles. You know,
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the best romance movies ever made. Like that's just so good.
I think I have to watch it. Like what year did that come out?
What?
The 20-something me. The 20-something me that watched that movie didn't get it.
Oh, I think it was 2000, 2002, maybe.
Maybe the 40-something me would understand it now, but I didn't get it. Like I just didn't get it.
That's a good question for Ryan. Do you think when you watch movies, if you've seen movies when you were younger that you remember, and then there's movies that you see now, do you appreciate them more or less? Do you see things differently?
I mean, for me anyway.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's like a completely different episode, isn't it, Brian? Aren't we supposed to talk about Focus on the Family Films, which is a company that existed 20 years ago?
Yeah, that was 2 hours ago. Who knows?
Yeah, that was 2 hours ago, and it's kind of getting late here, and it's happy hour pretty soon. We all got to go out and get our drinks and do whatever to drink away this COVID-19 situation. But no, Brian, to answer your $2 billion question, because that's heavy, by the way. Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull? No, I'm kidding. There's a 80s flashback for you. What was the question? Okay, so when I watch films like The Karate Kid and The Terminator, not Terminator 2, The Terminator, I love those movies, even though I've just seen them somewhat recently, a couple years ago, because if I had watched them when I was a kid, I may or may not have had a different outlook. But it really is, it depends on the movie, Brian, because I could watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and get something from it when I saw it a few years ago. But if I had watched it when I was like, I don't know, 13, 14, when I was still trying to figure out what, how to get a date was, I didn't have any game back then, Brian. But, I may have had a totally different outlook on it. So, but when I look on it now, it's like, oh, okay, makes sense. But it depends on the film, I would say. So there's your open-ended answer.
I think for me, it was Princess Bride, because I didn't appreciate it and understand it nearly as well as I did when I got older. So like when I first saw it when I was like 14, I was like, okay, that's funny. But then I kind of thought about how funny those things were, and those, like the characterization of each of those characters and how they actually told the story. And I was like, okay, like I understood the purpose behind it more. And then there were other movies like when I saw Neverending Story when I was a kid, I was like enthralled by this movie. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then when I watch it with the kids, and I'm like, it's still a cool movie, but it's kind of slow. So for me to have sat in front of the TV for that hour and a half when I was, 5, seems crazy to have sat in front of the movie to watch it as, 40 with my kids and saying, oh my gosh, like there are certain things that the way it's played out didn't hit me the same way. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And there were other things that did.
I don't know. I'll go back to watching some of the old films and realize that some of them don't hold up. But I don't know. I will always like going back to watch like Wizard of Oz or Mary Poppins, because it's those movies are kind of like my feel good kind of movies, and they bring me back to a time where, before going into foster care and being at home with my grandparents, and having big family gatherings. Those are the times that I remember and I enjoyed.
It's just fair. I think that some things we hold very near and dear to our hearts, and they don't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my kids don't understand my love for Snoopy. Like they don't understand how or why I watch Charlie Brown every single time. Like they'll sit and they'll watch it with me, but they don't have the same deep loving appreciation that they have for that movie that I do. And likewise with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. Like And I know those are all like Christmas movies, which will probably be talked about on a later episode, but like those movies were every Peanuts movie, The Great Pumpkin, it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and
Thanksgiving,
the Thanksgiving one, and then Christmas,
which is
and then
so
even
iconic.
Even the summer camp one.
Summer Camp or the Red Baron.
Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown.
Yeah. And so all of those kind of hold this like special place, and it holds a special place, but it doesn't. I'm like, really, he was such a whiny little brat. Like, you're just like, get over yourself and kick the football, damn it. Like,
Oh, good grief.
Or Lucy, stop being such a bitch. Like, why are you?
I know.
So mean?
Yeah, man. She always throws the football at the last second. I'm like, how dare you? Like, that's not cool. Yeah, I get that. I did a rewatch of the Neverending Story a few months ago. I still like it, but I don't love it as much as I did when I was younger. I mean, it still holds that special place in my heart, what everyone was talking about earlier. But I don't enjoy it as much as I did when I was a kid. But I still like it. I may not love it as much as I did, but I still like it. And the other thing is, by watching Karate Kid and Terminator now, I love those films now, but 20 years ago, I may have been singing a different tune. I may have said, yeah, they were fun, I enjoyed them, I liked them, whatever. But when I watch them now, oh, they're so good, and I get so much great entertainment out of them now than I potentially would have when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I appreciate, like, I think I appreciate it differently. Like, I understood why Mr. Miyagi was teaching him the way he was during the Karate Kid, but I understand it to a different level now. Like,
he was like a father figure.
I understand the loss of a father and filling in for that. And then I understand the contrast between, his teachings and the teachings of Cobra Kai, which kind of helps you understand where people come from. Like, who are you teaching for? Are you teaching for the student, or are you teaching for yourself? Because everything the other karate school was teaching was for himself. It made him look better. And what Mr. Miyagi was doing wasn't about himself. It was more for Daniel's sake, and for what was helping him get through whatever was going on, because he had to have the confidence in himself to say, this is how I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live my life being a stand-up guy.
It wasn't about teaching the martial arts. Like, the martial arts he was teaching them was it wasn't about fighting or anything like that. He wasn't even preparing them for the tournament. It was like a more deeper thing.
It was about building confidence and understanding and a surety. Like he said, like those, and the hard work pays off. Like, if you teach somebody how to do those things, then that hard work pays off. Like, you're sanding the deck, but those motions mean something. And those things are important. And I think that, it's kind of lost on our generation, like on the next generation coming up too, because they want this instant gratification of something, and they don't ever realize that you don't just wake up and be good at it. You don't just get results. You have to bust your ass for it. You have to really work to do
agree with that.
Great things. Yeah. So, like, I think that's kind of what Karate Kid taught me.
Good movie to have in your collection for those of you watching this at home. There's a movie to add to your holiday shopping list.
I would say the first three.
Really? Did the sequels really happen, though? Because,
man. I did enjoy Karate Kid 2, but I did not enjoy as much the reboots of anything. Like, it's not to sell anybody else short. It's just that there are certain things you can't mess with. And for me, it's don't mess with the original, because it was...
Well, it was
good.
The Jackie Chan version with
Jaden Smith.
Yeah, it's called Karate Kid, but it wasn't karate. He was teaching them kung fu. So
Well, the
crazy,
next
isn't it?
one.
They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to remake it.
Hey, that's what happens, when you get some of these properties and Hollywood sees dollar signs, like, hey, the first one was so good, let's make 40,000 more of these things because we know they're going to sell tickets, right? Well, here's the fact check, Jack. I've seen all 4 of your movies. I haven't seen your Cobra Kai yet. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to watch it, Brian. I know, but Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 2's fine, not great. Karate Kid 3, way too cheesy, and they ham up that villain Terry Silver like nobody's business. The next Karate Kid with a future Academy Award winner in Hilary Swank, I understand what they were going for. Their aim and their heart was in the right place. It just wasn't executed great. And by the way, when your enemies in the 4th film are a real cheap knockoff of Cobra Kai, and they're just a bunch of school bullies who wear black T-shirts and blue jeans and think they're cool and hip, that doesn't work. That makes no sense at all. Not even logical sense. But hey, at least Hilary Swank knows how to beat the living heck out of somebody, and her limited training sequences, fine for what they were, but outside of that, 2, 3, and 4 never really happened. The first one is great, but everything else that came after, it's like, yeah, we don't really need you on the 4-disc set. You can just go over here.
And speaking of movies that spawned multiple
sequels, reboots.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Hey, I have a soft spot, young lady, for Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and for Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, okay? I have soft spots for that trilogy.
Well, now they're doing a Disney Plus. They've announced it. It's greenlit.
It's a show, right?
It's a continuation, and I believe they actually got Rick Moranis out of retirement to do it.
Oh, he's going to be playing Zelensky again, and then I hear Josh Gad is going to be playing Nick, right?
Yeah, Josh Gad is going to be.
I'm going to straight up say that I loved Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I really did. I didn't really enjoy as much Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. I didn't really understand why there needed to be a sequel, but then
I don't think anyone in the film understood why there was a sequel.
We Shrunk Ourselves. I enjoyed that one just because it was funny to see the tables get turned. Like
it even spawned a TV show as well.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Was it animated or live action?
It was live action.
Oh, really? I was not aware of this. I might have to do some digging, as they say on the interwebs. But yeah, man. Yeah, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. I remember getting that at my local library a lot when I was a young wee lad. And then Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves came out, and I was like, tables get turned, adults get busted, kids live in the house, and they have the enjoyment. That's something I can relate to. Yeah, can we get the parents out of here, please? Yeah, so hey, look, are they as good as the original? Probably not, but at least they tried. And hey, at least they didn't make 40 of those things, okay? It could have been a lot worse. I mean, look at what they did with Karate Kid. They made 4 of them. 4. Okay.
Yeah, but the TV show was enough for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just think sometimes don't mess with stuff that's good. Like, please don't just figure you can remake things that to try to make them more timeless.
Or just milk the cash cow that you think it is. By the way, the first one, the original, what was it, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Matt Frewer, who played the fisherman dad of the other kids, I had the pleasure of meeting him at a convention. I was like, hey, I was wondering, what was your favorite scene to film on the set of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? And he's like, well, the scene where I'm teaching Russ how to lift those weights in the garage, that was all improv by me. So we kind of just ran. So we ran with that, and Disney filmed it, and they kept it within the film. And I'm like, oh, that whole spiel about you being, I put on 20 pounds of pure unadulterated blitz quarterback with rip his head off, Buster Russell. Like that. I'm like, that was improv. He's like, yeah, it was. I'm like, dang, that's good, because that's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. That whole scene is hilarious. He's like, so.
Speaking of him, I was going to say,
fishing isn't your thing. Weights, just what is your thing? I don't know, but I'll keep you posted, okay? All right. In the meantime, you're going to be on these. And you're going fishing with the family. That clear? I can't hear you. Yes, sir. Right. By the way,
so Ryan, let me ask you then. Do you know what 80s role he's famous for?
Who? Matt Frewer?
Yes. Very super famous. Let's just say a soft drink used him as a commercial.
I don't get it. What is this? I'm confused. What are you referring to?
Max Headroom.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
He's
Sorry. Wasn't coming to me. My bad.
Yeah, but he was a very busy guy in the 90s, though.
I heard he kind of was. Yeah, he was and he was on that short-lived NBC original TV series Timeless.
Okay, he was also in the great Sci-Fi Channel original series Eureka.
Ah, yes, that was brought up a lot
He was
during that convention.
the guy that.
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
crazy scientist guy that lived on the off the grid. And
Yes.
He's been a busy actor for the last 3 to 4
Please
decades.
tell me you guys watch Sci Factor.
I've never seen Eureka, so.
I love Eureka.
Okay.
Eureka is my favorite show on the sci-fi. It was my favorite show in sci-fi.
Okay, so Sci Factor may not have reached you guys down in the States, but it was huge here in Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Well, mainly because he is a Canadian actor, but Dan Aykroyd was the narrator of that show.
No kidding.
Well, we'll have to
Look it up.
I know
It's good.
Matt
It's a good show.
Frewer's been a busy actor for like decades, so good on him. But yeah, when I met him at a convention, we talked about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids for a while, and that was fun. Muscle Russell, come on,
Right.
It's classic. It's classic.
I think,
And then he looks through the window and he sees Amy,
people.
mopping the floor, and he's like, weird family.
I think like, but maybe that's why we hold so true to like our favorite family films, is because they were really like legitimately like those characters are the characters we remember, and we quote them, and we like love everything about them.
Yeah.
Did anyone have a neighbor kid who would practice his baseball in the backyard, and then one day he just hits the ball really hard that it crashes through his neighbor's window? Like that kid? Does that ever happen to anybody?
Not
Probably
here. Not to us.
It wouldn't happen if their house wasn't so close. which is, by the way, which is his excuse for accidentally hitting the ball through that glass window. It's like, wait a minute. If your house wasn't so close, dude, you guys are literally next door to each other. It's like, why are you complaining? And then he's like, Nick, take him upstairs, get him his ball. What? Nick, do it. I don't have time to mess around. Come on, let's talk about the bad system of justice. Where it's like, it's so cheesy, but yet it works so well.
I just want to say before we end this show, in our producers chat, there was a funny meme. I don't know who posted it. It had the great Canadian leader in the Star Wars thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Christian.
Christian, yeah.
Christian.
Yeah.
So it's who's your leader there up in Canada?
Trudeau.
No.
Who's your leader?
Wow.
Who's your leader? Who's your leader?
Wait a minute, who's your alien leader again?
Yeah, Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Trudeau, thank you.
Well, anyways, the meme it was very funny. It's
was.
like, are you guys okay? And then at the bottom is the scene of Han Solo in Star Wars, and he's like,
"We're all fine here now. Everything's fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you." But it doesn't say, "How are you?" But it's like,
you guys, yeah.
Is this a screenshot? Oh, look at this, Willow. Yeah, everything's fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. And apparently, the Associated Press has declared a winner. So there you go. The election's over. Supposedly,
We'll
it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We have enough. We will be problems.
Yeah,
but,
I kind of brought this up the other day. I brought up the movie poster for a movie that nobody saw. It's called AVP: Alien vs. Predator, and it says on the slogan of the poster, it says, "Whoever wins, we lose." So there you go, folks.
So if you really think about it, not to be political, but everybody that's human has their own set of problems. So
yeah,
we're not free. I mean, like, we're gonna have problems.
So I started the show with what does family mean to you? So I'll end it since you weren't here.
Aww.
What does family mean to you?
That's the question.
God.
It's
like
heavy,
there is a heavy question. Like, really? Like, because my family is not close, and because Brian's family is, I will censor myself. because they are who they are. I think that, sometimes family is just the people that you choose. Like sometimes if you can't have your actual blood relatives who are kooky and crazy and not necessarily people you want to spend time with, that sometimes the people you choose to spend time with become the filler for that. And I think that sometimes the family we choose is just as important as the family that we're born into. And I think it just, I mean, to quote Lilo and Stitch, I really think it means like, family means never being left behind. Like there's always somebody willing to hang on to make sure that you're okay. And I think that that's the true definition of family. Like that's what family does, is we're there for each other and we, pull each other up and spend more time trying to figure out how to get through the day, like, and that's what most of us do. I think like if we were lost, what would we do?
Yeah.
Like,
gee, I don't know, Brian. That to me is a mic drop right there.
And don't forget, I am your emotional support Canadian.
There it is, folks. There it is on Titantron for all of you to see this. ESC, Emotional Support Canadian. Look it up. It's a new acronym that's going to be coming to a dictionary very soon.
Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's going to be on social media very, very soon. Thank you, Willow, for sharing that with us, or whoever put that on the Titantron.
No problem.
So, Ryan, once again, thank you for joining us. You're always welcome. You got a lot of great stuff lined up. You want to let everybody know what's going on with the nerd culture?
Yeah, sure. How much time you got? No, I'm kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for having me on Reels and Heels for this episode here as we wind down of the decade known as 2020. You can find everything we're doing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at It's Nerd Culture. New videos are dropping each and every week. Check out my podcast. It's called The Nerdcast. I talk about all the movies I've been experiencing and watching since the situation with COVID-19 has started. And believe me, I've seen a lot, and I'm going to continue to do it because I do it for you. So look it up on Anchor, Google, Spotify, wherever you download your podcast. You can find us there. I believe it's on Thursday, November the 12th at 8 p.m. EST. I'm going to be having an interview with sci-fi fantasy writer Mary Fan of Crazy 8 Press. She's going to be joining us for the interview series. It's going to be wonderful to talk to her, as well as I have a few other writers who are going to be guests on my show because, hey, it's National Novel Writing Month. So let's bring on the writers and celebrate that and see what other creative works they have coming up very shortly. So tune in for that. More details are available on our Facebook page. It's simply at It's Nerd Culture. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, man, you're always welcome here. And I got to say, great interview with Mick Strong. That was a great interview.
Yeah, so, he's a character, that one, and he's always got a fair share of funny stories there. And yes, that interview is available on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. So check it out. If you've missed anything, it's all there.
And also a great show last night with Willow.
I am the current winner of Nerd Battle.
Yeah, Battle of the Nerds. We had a new episode drop live last night. You can catch it on the Facebook page as well when it goes up on the Hanging with Web Show Web TV YouTube channel, because that's where all the Battle of the Nerds eventually end up. So check that out too. See, Willow, we're doing plugs for you.
Thank you.
Willow, I'm about to plug you again. Wait a minute, that didn't sound right.
Whoa.
Wow, that came out wrong.
That's what I feel.
And the missus is sitting right next to you, so that's not a good sign for the people watching at home.
Okay.
Willow, I think the question that Brian was attempting to ask you as we go our merry way here on the holiday season, where can the good people of the interwebs find you and everything you have coming up?
All right, so tomorrow I'm going to be helping one of my friends who got inspired for being a podcaster, being on my show last week. So anyway, they're doing their own show now called Wow, Brain, why aren't you working today?
Hey, that's a great title.
What
is our show? Let's be our show, Willow.
Now what is what it's called. So you'll join us tomorrow night with John and Mark. I'll post up all the links for that. So yeah, they're bringing me on their show tomorrow night, so that'll be awesome. But you can find me on Facebook. You can search up Willow's Pillow Talk on Instagram. Not Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. You can see us on Hanging with Web.
Tyler Productions.
I was like, what are you doing?
Why are we pointing? No, I'm kidding. It's right here on the marquee.
I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm the social media social butterfly. I'm also on Twitch as 63 Beast. For some reason, Twitch won't let me change names. But yeah, I'm everywhere.
Hashtag emotional support Canadian. Thank you, Willow. We appreciate you.
And I'm going to say that Thursday you had a fantastic show with the great Brian K. Morris and
Yeah.
The show was really good. I enjoyed doing it, although our buddy Christian likes to try to derail us, and so I may have gone a little off the rails.
Okay, so imagine a classroom.
Oh boy.
Full of miniature Christian Bale.
Christian Bale? Christian Bale's in this class?
Christian Bale.
You mean Christian Bale?
Every single time. I swear to God, every single time. And then the other day, Friday, so I have to tell you this. So one of them said something that said, well, that was hard. And he goes, that's what she said. And I said, you wish. And then somebody else said something else. And he says, so it was in reference to something some other kid said. And she says, well, you can't stop now. And then the other kid says, you have to finish. And I went, what is going on?
What is up with these kids in these classes? I mean, honestly, I don't get it anymore.
I swear they know more than I do.
And on that note, I'm going to run one last ad, and we're going to ring the bell.
Southwest of Chicago, there is a small, secluded cemetery known as Bachelor's Grove, and it is one of the most haunted places in the United States. Author Brian K. Morris brings you a collection of writings that will help you navigate this ghostly graveyard, if you dare. The Haunting Scripts of Bachelor's Grove is available now on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Okay, the whispering creeps me out a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't Halloween last month, dude. We need to get happy and cheerful again because it's the holiday season.
Okay, well, here we go. We'll be happy here because we were, giving them a lot of love.
This is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
Yes, Christian is onward to 50,000. He crossed the 40,000 mark. So proud of that boy.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go with that other than to say congratulations. Thanks for joining us on, what's the name of the show again? Oh, yeah, Reels and Heels, because we got sidetracked one too many times. But yeah, this was fun. Brian, anything else you want to say before we ring that proverbial bell?
Okay, we're definitely in. You know what? The end phrase is because of you. Ring the bell. So that's what we're doing. That's the catchphrase now. We're gonna ring the bell. Till next week.
Ding ding.